Door is going to be closed.
I'd like to give a special shout out to our friends up north in Canada who brought us beer. It's so delicious. Why is everything up there so tasty? Is it because I can't get it? Barrel-aged Walkerville Brewery Roadblock Doppelbock extra strong beer.
That's a lot of words.
It is. It's a good thing I have a degree in English. I'm authorized to handle that many words.
What happened now? I wasn't in the room.
I'm drinking.
Sorry, it's just an alibi. I was just trying to establish my alibi.
Oh, I see.
I believe he said he's drinking a Strut Pout. Put it out. It's what you want from women.
IPA. That's how you know I'm lying, because there's no way in hell I'd drink one of those. Hello, Tuffley.
Hello.
Tuffley has a boom now.
I do. I have a boom.
There goes the boom.
Yeah, I know.
I had no idea he was such a fan of that film.
He's
hopefully the microphone's worth a shit, or else this is all going to be for nothing.
Mm.
Well, I mean, you know. We can't hear you. I mean, you sound like a Wimpy from Popeye, but you know.
Do I?
No. Sure. Yes. I mean, yes. Sorry. Yes, and.
Oh, that was the auto tune. It's the auto tune.
At least he has it. At least he stopped using the vocoder.
Hey, no promises.
I wouldn't expect any.
Why is that one? Why is that camera connected? Okay.
Huh?
So, things have happened.
They have.
Have things happened?
Well, Dragon Con happened since we were last here.
You gonna really rub it in JJ's face like that?
It's part of why I'm here is to find out what happened.
Hell, I don't remember.
Tuffley had another one of his blackouts.
You know who else doesn't? Lee.
Yeah, but that's normal.
Don't we expect that, though?
Well, it depends on how quickly she falls asleep.
She yelled at me the next day, where were you? Why weren't you there? I'm like, I was standing right next to you for like 15 minutes.
What? Where?
She was, it was Thursday night, you know, Dragon Con.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So,
yeah, she was.
Her memory is worse than, you know, Supreme Court Justice nominee or something like that. So,
hey!
She couldn't find anyone on Thursday night for some reason. And yet they were all in the same location.
All standing all around her.
Yes, they were all standing all around her, and she couldn't find anyone.
Well, she is very short, so
that is true. That is true. I mean,
it's very hard to identify any of us by our knees.
And Trader Vic's was quite crowded for some reason.
Oh well, Big Mike was there.
Oh yes, that might have been the reason.
Oh, fun. Yeah, he's about to play here as Puddles, pity party thing. But I'm not going.
Yeah, he travels with that a lot.
Oh yeah,
he's playing a relatively large hall here with it. It's probably a very interesting show, but you can only go to so many shows, and I may have just recently bought tickets to go see wrestling next week. So,
oh yeah,
wrestling.
That's my ticket. What?
Who's doing the wrestling?
It would be a live. It would be SmackDown Live that I'm going to see. So,
okay.
WWE SmackDown team.
Cool. So what happened at Dragon Con, Widge? Anything?
Well, we did 2 rounds of Make the Badman Stop, where we went over and, most of the crises that pop culture is going through, and we fixed it all.
Although we did accurately predict Cavill was leaving.
Yeah, we did.
We were right on top of that.
Was that in the second one?
Yeah, like I said,
yeah.
Yeah,
like I
'cause-
said, I just think it's a shame he never got to play Superman.
That's fine. He'll hopefully Witcher will be good. I have hope for Witcher.
Witcher. Before I even knew Henry Cavill was doing this, although it was announced like, I don't know, a month or two ago, I guess. I had decided that if I'm going to do cosplay next year at Dragon Con, I'm going to go as Witcher. So now I've got a debate in my head of which Witcher do I go? Which Witcher am I supposed to? Which Witcher to which? Am I supposed to do?
What you should do is a mashup between The Witcher and The Suspicions of Mr. Witcher, which is a British period like detective series.
I can probably play one of the kids from Escape to Witcher Mountain.
I
Well,
think.
now-
Oh, here's what you do. You should play Henry Cavill's character.
One of the
from-
balding kids in their mid-40s.
Oh, you could do Eddie
Awesome.
Albert from the first one.
And then turn into The Rock.
There you go.
Now you play Henry Cavill's character from The Witcher, and then you find a like transparent mustache and spirit gum that to your upper lip.
Oh, that would be awesome.
You
And
get
and
it.
do the cat eyes.
Only for the joke. Yeah, well, yeah, I gotta do the cast.
You gotta
I was
do the
gonna-
cat eyes.
I was gonna do The Witcher from the video game series. of
Yeah.
course, version of it. Because really,
You mean
all it
Tekken?
is. Well, you get the emblem, you get the you get the cat eyes, maybe put on a wig, and then the rest of it's just period garb with swords.
Yeah.
So when the Witcher, unfortunately, I'm sure invariably sucks. Can we get?
Thank you for the dashing of the hopes.
I mean,
No, that's okay.
It's just
Somebody
a
has to.
setting.
if Fassbender can't make Assassin's Creed worth watching, something's wrong with video game movies. But
This is a Netflix series, though.
what?
It's going to be a Netflix series.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and hopefully it'll be great. But that doesn't work for the bad joke I was just about to make, and that's just like,
Take two.
then can we
Netflix beat you to your bad joke.
can we get Cavill and Fassbender and the chick who played like Laura Croft to do this like League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, so we can just put like all the like shitty films in one big gumbo?
We'll get them to remake New Mutants when this one doesn't get released.
I still kind of want to see it.
What is what's his nose from Super Mario doing these days?
Well, one of them
Not like
dead.
Osamo is
Well,
actually
Hoskins dead.
Okay, so I'm going with Leguizamo then.
Yeah, I mean, unless you want to make a movie with Bob Hoskins and Dennis Hopper.
They could make a Super Smash Brothers film because apparently they killed Luigi. So, if you believe the trailers.
What? They killed Luigi?
They did I don't know if you've seen this. They did a promo because one of the things in Super Smash Brothers is one of the levels is that you're fighting in basically in a Castlevania themed battleground.
Okay.
And they did an extended trailer where basically Death showed up and killed Luigi.
Wow.
Did Warren Ellis write it?
No. Although I'd be interested to know if he did.
Hate it now?
What's that?
I said, and if he did, does he hate it now?
He didn't hate his Castlevania series. He's writing a second.
Oh, okay.
I think it's basically done from his perspective, isn't it? Because they kind of. When does
Yeah,
that come
because
out?
I think he wrote it as more episodes than they've actually released. So they do this thing, and they're doing the same thing with Voltron where they split the actual series they produce into halves, and then it just looks like they're airing them quicker.
Well, and I've heard from voiceover artists that one of the reasons they're willing to work with Netflix is even though Netflix doesn't pay as well as some of the other channels, they're willing to buy more episodes up front.
Yeah.
So you don't get paid as much per episode, but you're guaranteed, say, 5 seasons worth of episodes. So they're getting better voice talent than they might not have if they weren't willing to just throw down bank.
Yeah.
October 26th. That's when season 2 comes out.
I'll have to rewatch season 1 because it was very Warren Ellis, and I was very tired when I watched it.
It was fun. I had a lot of fun with it, and I basically know I played like the first Castlevania game. Like
The games really don't have a consistent plot line.
all you need to know is Alucard is Dracula backwards.
Yes.
that hasn't that been used in like 15 different things? And that
Probably, but Castlevania is where I think of it most.
okay. But no, it was fun, and it was only like 6 episodes, right? Something like that.
Yeah, and depending on your investment in Symphony of the Night, you spent a hell of a lot of time with that. Wait, what do you mean the castle's inverted? The fuck? Oh.
Good thing that little guy can jump like a flea.
Better than jumping like Anthony Kiedis. Sorry.
Where do they do most of their jumping? Is it under a bridge?
Yeah, but it's very painful.
Hold on. Let's just pause for a second and realize how far I wanted to go to make that joke.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking of trying to figure out how to make a switching tenses in the middle joke, but I decided to stop. It's one of the. I know it's a weird thing to bug you about a song, but it always bugged me that Under the Bridge is written in 2 tenses.
Are those tents underneath the bridge?
I never thought of that.
Who lives in those tents?
Because when he wrote the poem, it was present tense, and then he reflects on it, and it's past tense.
Yeah.
But there's no. I mean, I understand why it's done, but there's nothing in the song to really explain why it's 2 tenses, and it just bugs me.
Well, because heroin, that's why.
Yeah. 1, 2 tenses kneel before you. tenses that adore you.
I could also say because heroin on that one too, but you know. Allegedly.
Allegedly, that's important.
Yes.
So, and I put this in the non-agenda. Speaking of Netflix, have you guys seen the Haunting of Hill House trailer?
I have not.
Mm-mm.
Okay, it's not the book, but it looks really fucked up.
I keep getting that confused with the Sabrina thing. I'm probably wrong for that.
So I take it you haven't watched the trailer then, or Sabrina must be dark as fuck.
Well, it is the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. Yeah,
Yes,
it is dark.
Sabrina is dark as fuck, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you ever read any of the Afterlife with Archie shit?
No, but that's what it's based on.
Yeah.
So it's based on, there's a line of Archie books that they basically did as a horror line.
And it's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
So you've read them then, JJ?
Yes, I have read them, and it is absolutely incredible. So not to jump on what Tuffley was just saying, but yeah, in that, basically Sabrina is responsible for bringing forth the zombie apocalypse by reading the black books of magic and bringing Jughead's dog back to life.
Okay.
And so Jughead's dog, who's supposed to be dead, bites Jughead. Jughead becomes a zombie, and so that becomes the beginning of the zombie apocalypse. And it's written seriously. It actually works. It sort of, in some ways, the feeling of it is sort of similar to that Riverdale series, which I've started watching, which is really pretty good. But because she read the Forbidden Books of Magic, Sabrina's 2 aunts marry her off to basically Cthulhu.
What?
As her punishment.
Okay.
She becomes the bride of Cthulhu. And that's where the comic series, The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, starts. So I doubt the series is going to go that far, but if you've watched the preview, it looks like they're going pretty dark.
Yeah, it looks a bit Rosemary's Baby.
Wow.
And it stars the chick who played the daughter, John Draper's daughter in Mad Men.
I forget her last name. It's Sherpa. I forget her last name, but yes, her.
Wow.
Rob's here.
Hey, Rob.
But Afterlife with Archie is only 10 issues long, and I recommend it for anyone who in any way likes horror comics at all. It's so much better than it should be.
I'm going to see if it's on Hoopla right now. Hoopla. Join it from your library.
Oh, that's cool. I read it on Comics.
Some libraries are dumping that now.
They are?
Yeah, like ours is. Because there's another thing coming down the pipe that's supposed to be like twice as big as Hulu and free. As Hoopla, I mean. Sorry.
Yeah.
You're probably fine, though.
Afterlife with Archie. Oops. Hey, it's there.
Cool.
Boom. Oh, yeah. Cool. I got the entire series.
It's really good.
Now, it looks dark as heck.
Yeah. It's fine by me.
Morrow, Volume 1, Escape from Riverdale.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. Borrowed. Done. Hey, JJ's recommendation is done.
Yeah.
Hey!
Which is good. 'Cause I can't stay till the end of the episode, so that's good.
Yeah, John's just going to read this for the rest of the show.
So in the first panel, it says...
Also,
to yourself, John.
in terms of like horror comics, if you come across the new Hulk series, it's being written like a horror series as well, and it's a lot of fun. It's called The Immortal Hulk.
Oh.
If you've been reading in the comics at all, so I don't know, a year or so ago, so Banner thought he stopped turning into the Hulk. He thought Amadeus Cho was the new Hulk, but Hawkeye up and kills Banner because you find out that Banner asked Hawkeye that if he ever turned into the Hulk again, asked Hawkeye to take him down
Because crossover.
Yeah, and Hawkeye said he saw Banner was getting mad, and Hawkeye said he saw flecks of green in his eyes because he's got that special Hawkeye vision. So Hawkeye just, up and put an arrow into his head.
Because crossover.
Because crossovers. But now it's turned out that although Banner can die, the Hulk can't.
Because crossover.
So if you kill the Hulk... or if you kill Banner, the Hulk will wake up that night.
Okay.
Crossover.
But does Banner still around?
Yes.
Okay.
So when the Hulk goes away and during the day, Banner wakes up after having just died.
I hate it when that happens.
Yeah.
So is it
like Dragon Con?
So have they gone back to the whole he's Hulk during the night thing?
Basically, they're putting it as they're kind of phrasing it as the night is the night is the Hulk's time is kind of where they're putting it. So if Banner's not dead, he doesn't necessarily turn into the Hulk, but if Banner's dead, he will be the Hulk that night.
Okay.
So how many times is Banner getting killed?
It's like maybe 5 issues into it. He's probably died like 3-4 times now.
Wow.
So Bruce Banner's the Captain Jack Harkness of the MCU.
Yeah. Yeah, but the thing that's weird, it should be cheesier than it is, but it actually kind of put that feel of what the Hulk kind of was in the early days of...
Oh yeah, because originally that's what happened. At night he turned to the Hulk, right?
Yeah.
Right, but the Hulk has so much baggage on him now that you're like, yeah, it's the Hulk, but he's the Hulk, Hawkeye, go to that roof and take down the Skrulls, and Iron Man, you fly around and take point, and Hulk smash, and it's cute, and everybody laughs. But the Hulk's supposed to be your id, and it's supposed to be dangerous and scary, and so it's kind of cool that they're taking it back a step of sorts.
Right. So they basically, as I understand it, they've admitted that what they set up in the movies is correct. When he says, I put a bullet in my mouth and the other guy spit it out, That's pretty much he can't be killed in the MCU either.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Yeah, that's the Hulk. It seems to me is one of those characters like Superman, where you have to be careful because he's so powerful that if he is truly the scary id, well, how the fuck do you stop him? And if he's good, then again, how the fuck do you stop? There's a reason why he wasn't around during Civil War.
Right.
How do you make an OP character not look OP?
Get him down with OPP.
You have
Stop that.
dying of
Sorry.
that movie.
Hey, Rob, you know me.
Well, it's National One Hit Wonder Day, and you're doing that to us. So thanks.
Did Naughty by Nature have Hip Hop Hooray?
They did.
They did.
But there are a lot of one-hit wonders that had a secondary hit that wasn't as big.
Yeah.
Like somebody said Falco this morning, and like Falco had 3.
Right. Or people say that people don't ever remember like The Sun Always Shines on TV by Aha.
Yeah,
we
we talk about that.
But
that's a better single than Take on Me.
right,
Yes,
the Take on Me is the one that people remember. It's just it's not everybody's Right Said Fred.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody can be that good.
And that's a good thing.
I mean, although theoretically the Grateful Dead is a one-hit wonder act
As they should be.
because they only had the one hit.
Good.
Whoa. I think someone needs to lay off the nerves that they're touching over there for Rob.
Fucking hate the Grateful Dead.
No, but really, Rob, how do you feel?
Yeah,
Friend of the Devil is not a friend of Rob's.
Oh, I don't know about that.
So tell us, why do you hate the Grateful Dead?
I just don't like them sonically. That's all. I just don't like their music.
It was a bad trip once at a show.
No.
The
I
unbiased.
tried the licorice once, and it was horrible.
Not a big fan of hippies. 2, I don't like how their records sound.
Hippies.
Yeah.
Considering the amount of unbottled rage I have towards Steely Dan, I am not going to say a thing about you and the Grateful Dead.
I can understand how much you would rage on Steely Dan. I can respect that.
I would hold their heads underwater for a few hours to make sure I didn't hear them again.
Well, you only have to do that with one of them now.
Wow.
One down, one to go.
JJ, I hope I didn't offend your sensibilities. I'm sorry.
Oh no. What? No, I'm fine.
Okay.
I'm not a Dead fan either. I'm not a Dead fan. I just don't hold that amount of hatred. I really, Steely Dan is the only band that, like, if I hear their music, I legit get angry and leave the room.
I was on.
Next time I see
elevator.
you in person, I know what to be playing on my phone.
I'll be
I was on
gone.
an elevator at Dragon Con with somebody that was talking about how they weren't going to go to Dragon Con next year because they were saving up to go see the entire tour of Better Than Ezra.
So that's 3 stops, right?
No, I mean, apparently it's the thing. Like, they have a cruise in this whole thing. I
Oh,
just
one of the
turned
cruise
to him
things.
and I'm just like, you, sir, respectfully, are a moron. And I got off the elevator.
Well, then the question goes, how much do they spend at Dragon Con?
Yeah.
Better Than Ezra tours more than
To
you
follow
think.
at Better Than Ezra around. I mean, seriously.
Rob, you have
Yeah.
to share your journey story.
Oh, yeah. Oh, sure. So I had to, first of all, there's a hilarious part of this. Yeah. So I ended up getting a free
You're really
room
not to tell us that part.
at the Four Seasons. And because I wrote about their restaurant and this whole thing, and so they comped us out a night at the Four Seasons, right?
Nice.
And so I'm getting ready to leave, and Cheap Trick and Journey and Def Leppard were all playing Busch Stadium that night.
That's
And
a good band. One of them.
I'm in the lobby, and
Leave it to the
I
listeners.
see that the guy from Rick from
Yeah.
Cheap Trick, right? And I'm like, oh my god, because I love. I mean, they're cheap. I'm like, man, you guys are awesome. Thanks for coming to town. He goes, oh, thanks. I go, I just really dig what you do. Thanks. And so this guy behind me goes, hey, man, we're in Journey. And I turned and I said, I'm so sorry. You make really shitty records.
What? Oh, come on, man.
When's the last? I mean, if it was Steve Perry, then maybe we could have a conversation with them. But
Come on.
Hey, we're in Journey. Who is also kind of a band. Good. That's good.
Yeah.
Good for you.
No. I would have said, dude, I loved your video game.
No, it's just like exactly. But
Thank
no,
you.
it's just like when you're in kindergarten, when you look at the little displays in kindergarten. Oh, that's very nice. That was very good, you. Good. Yeah.
Journey is one of those bands where you just kind of go, congratulations on continuing to make a living. You do that
Yeah.
somewhere
Well done.
else.
The one thing I will say about Journey, which I think we've said before, is that they found a guy who sounds more like Steve Perry than Steve Perry does.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
He's still terrible.
I was never a Steve Perry fan to begin with, so
No, I'm not a huge Steve Perry fan. I was just impressed that it sounded so much like him. That's all I was saying.
right.
So, yeah, I'm walking out, and one of the concierge guys like, I guess you don't like Journey. I'm like, no, not much. He's, yeah, right on. That was it.
Well
So,
done,
yeah.
Rob.
What?
So which Journey guy was it?
I don't know. I can look at the band and tell you later. I don't know. He had wrinkles and looked like he took too many drugs. I don't know.
I can't
Well,
even
that
honestly.
really narrows it down.
I don't think I
that's
could
not
tell
the lead
you.
singer.
I don't think I could tell you how many people are in Journey.
You mean now or ever?
That could be a Fun Fest game. How many people are in Journey?
They're five, right?
I'm gonna name a musician. You tell me if they've been in Journey.
I mean, it's like naming how many body parts are left in Def Leppard.
Well, again,
To be fair with Def Leppard,
too late.
despite the fact that they are
Too
incredibly
late. Oh
annoying,
wait, me too soon.
no, the fact that they stuck by
You
that.
mean originally, right, JJ?
Well, I mean, they've basically lost a member and a half.
Oh yes, I was gonna say, because if you count Steve Clark, I mean that's 5 appendages right there. So
Did somebody else in Def Leppard die?
No, well, I mean, the drummer didn't die; he just lost an
I knew
arm.
that.
he
Yeah.
lost an arm, but then they did lose a guitarist.
Oh, see, I didn't know they lost a guitarist.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
and their music somehow has just managed to not sound any different.
Well, I'll say this about Def Leppard. They were one of those bands that got onto the music licensing gravy train early.
For some reason, I thought you were going to say, there's one thing I'll say about Def Leppard. They're a band.
They're certainly a band.
Sure.
Yes, they are.
Yeah. No harm in saying that.
They did produce noises.
So I'm thinking there's 5 members of Journey just because I'm visualizing the video game again.
Okay.
You remember there's 5 different spots you run to, 5 different.
Did you pull up like YouTube footage of the gameplay?
No, I did not. But I was just trying to remember it from.
I mean, 5 makes sense. 2 guitarists, a bassist, a drummer, and a singer. That seems like right, but it also seems like there would be a keyboard player and.
Oh wait,
I think it was
there-
guitarist and keyboard player.
there was,
No, there
yeah,
was a keyboard player because
because he played on the side of a building.
Yeah.
In the,
was
yeah.
it separate ways?
Yes, exactly.
We saw that damn video the other day.
Wow.
I
Oh, God.
completely
It's a nice steady cam shot.
I completely need to invite you and Tuffley to this next year, Widge. There's a thing that happens at Dragon Con every year in the bar with my friend Anthony and his iPhone and a bunch of people called Will I Hate It? And they play records and they take bets on whether I'm going to like it or hate it. And there's tons of booze.
But we do this with you already. Like not online or anything or for
Yeah.
like public display. We just do it to torture you. But
Right.
So
Oh, here, JJ, this is even better. So if I saw Journey, I would say, "Oh, hey, I really liked your video game. I mean, it was no Revolution X, but it was pretty good."
ouch.
The 2 people who get that joke are on this call.
you
I thought
you
it was-
shoot people with CDs, Wedge.
Really?
Oh.
Which,
Brilliant.
by the way, dying apparently.
Nice.
What? Who? What?
CDs.
Wait a minute. CDs are dying.
Yes,
They're still around.
as a format.
I get
Yes.
about 100 a week. They're not dying.
Well,
But-
no, but people who get freebies.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Basically,
freebies.
you're supporting the medium. Basically, that's it.
The problem is, the problem
I'm
is, and this is
recycling
why I
these.
don't. This is why I don't get review music stuff online. Is because they want to send me digital copies, and they want to put some kind of digital watermark on it, so that if it leaks online, they can blame me. But what they're doing is they're sending me the link in an unsecured email, which is basically like sending it through the post on a postcard. And I'm
Yeah.
like, fuck no, I'm not opening this link at all. There's no way in hell, because you can't guarantee me that I'm the only one that's seen this link.
Yeah.
But see, but okay, so CDs are dying and vinyl is thriving.
Yes,
What the fuck, man?
it's 8-tracks next. I mean, cassettes are
No.
cassettes are having nice, healthy sales too. Apparently,
Yeah, what the fuck's up with that?
Okay, that makes even less sense. At least with vinyl, I can put the needle in a specific place and find a specific place in a song.
a bunch of British magazines started putting out C90 compilations, and then everybody thought this was a keen idea. I don't know
Yeah.
why.
Yeah, I know. I had this conversation with Peter Capaldi.
Well, and there's still
Typically a real normal sentence to say out loud. Go on.
No, I was talking about his band, and I said, if you wanted to make a lot of money now as a hipster, you'd release that on cassette. And he just stared at me, and he goes, "Oh, fuck no," and that was it.
but cassettes are still kind of, I mean, thought of as a very, they're not, the sound's not great, but they're probably the most durable way to just like carry music.
Well, what's weird is
Really?
I went to
For
four
my
record
phone,
stores.
but yes.
I went to 4 record stores the weekend of Dragon Con, and all of them had a cassette section. It was just weird.
Yep.
Because you can throw cassettes in your backpack and go. You can't.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I'm going through all these cassettes now from all my air checks going all the way back to 1989, and I'm digitizing old interviews and all this other stuff and archiving crap, and I'm amazed at how why is this still intact? Why does it sound good? And the cases are indestructible.
Well, you also have to make sure it's in some kind of temperature controlled thing. You can throw it in your backpack and go, but don't leave your backpack in the car in the middle of summer.
No,
But you can't do
Unless
that with
it's
any
perfect.
kind of.
please do.
I mean, with the exception of maybe an iPod, which is probably still not good for it. You can't leave records in the sun. You can't leave compact discs in the sun.
No, I know, but I'm just saying I would be more, I'd feel better about a CD. I think a CD would fail long after the actual tape part of a cassette would fail.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm
I think.
certainly not defending a cassette tape. I can't remember the last thing I bought on cassette. It was probably like And Justice for All or something.
I mean, sadly, I still have 2 cassette players at home plus a Walkman, but I'm trying to convert all this crap that I've got.
I mean, until like 3 years ago, I still had a tape drawer.
Yeah.
You do know what you can leave in the sun, though, right?
Holidays.
What, a
Blisters?
blister?
Yes.
Holidays, blisters. Yep.
Oh, by the way, I looked it up. There are 5 members of Journey.
You know what else?
Okay,
What I
John,
also
here's a
learned,
question for you. All
what
right.
I also hold on, wait a second. What I also learned was Randy Jackson was in Journey for a period of time.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Here's the other thing you can leave in the sun: seasons.
So here's my question for you, John, that you have to find for me. Are there more members of Journey? Like you said, 5, right?
Well, there are 5 currently, and there've always been sort of 5 in the band. But
Okay. So are there currently
Deciduals say there must always be
more
5.
members of Journey, the 5, or living astronauts who have walked on the moon?
So I wonder if getting 5 members of Journey is kind of like when we had 9 members of an improv troupe, so 5 people would show up to a performance. Are there like just extra members of Journey that are disposable just because you can't always get all of them together?
Oh no, that's Foreigner.
Because I mean, I know that it seems like any band, if your lead singer disappears for any period of time, you can get Corey Taylor. Okay, I guess that's too specific a metal reference. That's fine.
No,
It seems
no,
like Corey Taylor tours with everybody for like a month when they lose their singer.
If
But,
it's not him, it's Miles Kennedy.
yeah, who's with Slash right now?
Who's with Miles Kennedy, who is in like 14 different bands currently. I think he's actually edging out for a number of large amounts of projects he's involved with.
So JJ, you'll be so proud of me. I told Widge this already. I saw Slayer.
Hey, and no, not very many people are going to be able to. I never got to see them.
It was funny because I texted Widge. I go, okay, a friend of mine's reviewing Slayer. Should I see them? Because I was really tired. I'd been up for like almost a full day. I was exhausted, and I'm like, I'm gonna kick myself if I miss this, right? And I don't go to a whole lot of like ball in the wall real metal shows, but like they played with Napalm Death, and Napalm Death were really, really good too.
Oh, is it Napalm Death and Anthrax?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'd seen Anthrax like years ago.
I'm a massive Anthrax fan, so I really wanted to see this tour.
The 2 times I've been to the Experience Music Project in Seattle, the guy from Anthrax has just been there walking around.
Oh, Scott Ian?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but no, dude, it was amazing. It was absolutely friggin' amazing.
He was at Dragon Con a couple of years ago.
Oh,
Really?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I've met him.
He at some point, I think, did a cameo on an episode of The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
He did.
Yes.
There are more members of Journey.
Okay.
There are only
Wow.
4 living people who have walked on the moon.
Damn.
Wow.
That's kind of sad.
That is.
That's incredibly sad.
There you go. You're welcome.
Thanks,
only-
Rob.
It's what
There's
Rob does.
There's
And the thing
only
But the thing is, they're killing NASA, but Journey's going to continue after they're all dead.
Yeah, and Journey's been
Unless
around.
we send members of Journey into space.
That's exactly where I was going, Tuffley. It's time
Now-
to send Journey to the moon.
The last time we walked on the moon was 1972. Journey formed in 1973. Coincidence?
Oh, now it all makes sense.
Hmm.
Maybe we should just like tell Gene Simmons he can make money off a Kiss rocket.
He'll misinterpret that.
Wait a minute. Surely, if any band has already had a rocket, it's got to be Kiss.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, they had one of those Davy and Goliath rockets.
Or Thunderbird 4 or whatever it was.
It was just visual only.
Wow.
It was there was entendre. Let's be honest about that. Double entendres. But because Gene
Wait,
but-
Kiss has double entendres in their music?
now
Oh, okay.
Not anymore.
Yeah, it's more like single entendres. They're just right there.
If it's possible to have like half an entendre, that's pretty much what they are.
A uni entendre.
You actually pay them entendres to listen to their music?
If
No,
they could
not
figure out
Chris.
how to monetize it, they would.
Well, I mean, if you count it as legal entendre.
well, have you ever heard music from the Elder?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I have.
Oh, that's actually 2 more people than you actually need on a podcast who have heard that album. Oh God.
Oh, I thought you meant the soundtrack to that young adult movie based on the young adult novel. Never mind.
No, that's actually a thing.
If you
Okay.
ever want to hear a song that Lou Reed co-wrote with Gene Simmons, I mean, ugh.
Yeah.
It's
I
a
know.
thing.
Well, although greater than a curve, is it better than Lulu?
I couldn't make it through Lulu, so
Okay,
I'm gonna
there you
have
go.
to say yes. it hurts me to say that Music from the Elder is better than any. But the thing is, Music from the Elder, it's just like, I mean, okay, I'm biased in the fact that I am definitely a I should probably go to like Kiss Anonymous because I am definitely a recovering a Kissaholic.
It's okay, you're with friends.
But at least Music from the Elder, like a lot of the shitty later like original group albums, at least had a decent Ace Frehley song on it.
Yeah.
Dark Light's not a bad song.
You know, he'll be your best man at a wedding now. There's a thing online about that.
But he's
What,
kind of
Ace Frehley?
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't mind having Ace Frehley around because sure, but he's also kind of sad now. He's one of those things that he didn't stop in time, and so he just comes across as a little incoherent. And so when I hear him talk now, I just get real sad.
Yeah,
Well,
so apparently, as far as if depending on how initial ticket sales go, he may be going out with them again on this quote final tour.
This never-ending final tour.
Well, but they've already said that they want to replace. They think of themselves as characters now, so they want to replace the Demon and Starchild. So the
I
band
never thought Kiss and Menudo would be the same concept.
Well,
But if
I'm
they
worried
could figure out
about
how to do
voices.
interstitials on ABC between cartoons for Kiss.
Didn't they?
Actually, considering this is a world where the Beatles and the Jackson 5 both had shitty cartoons, how did Kiss at least never even end up on a Scooby-Doo
The
movie?
Beatles,
Hey.
the Jacksons, the Brady Bunch.
Hey, JJ, the since it is coming up on Halloween, the
Oh, yes. Yes.
Halloween special. Rob, what is it? Help! I blanked on the name.
Halloween
Paul
special.
Lynn.
Thank you. Yes.
Oh, right.
Yeah, their first North American television appearance.
That was Sid and Marty Krofft. Thank you, Sid and Marty Krofft.
They also did so when the album Psycho Circus came out, they did a show at Dodger Stadium which aired a couple of numbers on Fox. I was actually at that show. But they had this whole like Fox Kiss night where all four members made a cameo appearance in an episode of Millennium, and they also were on an episode of Mad TV.
Okay.
The only bit I remember about them being on Mad TV was a thing where they were hanging out and they had their bags and they were like, I got a Snickers bar, I got a Reese's Pieces, and Chris reaches into his bag and goes, I got a rock, and then he takes a bite out of it and goes, I like rocks.
Yes, Peter, you do.
Well, now that we've
Allegedly.
Yeah, really.
Thank you, our lawyers. Thank you.
now that we've had the Kiss Menudo comparison, I think it's only fair that one of the many lead singers of Menudo stars in a remake of Runaway.
What?
I don't know who you get to play the
Tom
Tom Selleck role.
Oh,
Let's see, who's Tom Selleck on TV right now?
He's in Blue Bloods.
Blue Bloods.
No, I mean the new Tom Selleck.
No, he's some. I think he's Filipino.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
I believe so. Hold on, looking it up. There's actually more living Magnum PI actors than there are.
Oh.
Well, there you go. No,
Hey,
that's
Ross
it.
joined us.
Hey, Rocks.
But Rob, how was Slayer? Was it a good show?
Yeah, it was loud, it was noisy, and it was just insane.
Nice.
So yeah.
And did you see? Well, you said you saw Napalm Death. Did you see Anthrax as well?
No, I mean I'd seen Anthrax before, so I kind of punted them.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I haven't seen them in the last couple of tours.
But Slayer is just one of those things that I thought I probably should have seen, that I should see.
Yeah, I would have loved to have seen them before they broke up, but it's obviously not in the cards.
Yeah, what you need is just go ahead and cast Jay Hernandez, the guy from the new Magnum PI.
There you go. He is American born. Trying to figure out where his. I could have sworn someone said that he was of Filipino descent though. So.
What, the new Magnum?
Yeah.
Yeah. According to this,
but
according to Wikipedia, which is always right, his parents were third generation Mexican Americans.
oh, well, there you go. Okay. So not Filipino is what you're saying.
Probably not. I mean, based on what I know about geography, which is precious little.
Because
no,
Alabama high schools.
He was in Hostel Part 2. So
Well, and the first one.
Oh, was he? Oh, he was also in the first one. Yes, he was.
But you can say Alabama high schools, but it still means that Widge knows more than me because I went to Mississippi high schools.
Well, I wasn't going to go there, but okay.
Yeah, I remember that poster. It was a kid wearing a T-shirt, and it said Mississippi number 51 in education. And the mom was there. And the mom was there saying, "Tommy, why are you wearing that? Take that off immediately." And he's like, "Why? What's wrong? What does it say?"
Yeah.
I lied. It was really Tennessee in that poster that I saw, but it's funny in any state you put it in.
Yeah. It just hurts worse because I know that when I graduated high school, I graduated from the lowest in the states, and ouch.
Yeah, I wasn't far from you, buddy. Not far at all.
Although he didn't learn that he wasn't far from you until much, much later in his life.
Yeah, college. It was college before I figured out the math necessary to figure out how behind I was.
I went to Alabama to go to college and then never got around to it because I discovered drugs instead.
And how are they doing?
Wow,
Together?
Sounds like you got a better deal than me.
Are there more drugs than there are people who've walked on the moon?
So when you say drugs, you mean Dave Matthews, right?
Yeah, quote unquote.
Drugs.
I got real into Dave Matthews and Fish.
But not Grateful Dead.
Wow,
that's a different gateway, John.
I was in a bar band for a little while that played Grateful Dead covers. So I mean that kind of can. That's the truth.
Yeah, but the thing is it just the one, and you can just do it for 20 minutes? Is that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, once you learn the bass line to truck, and then you just Although to be fair, there were three that we did. We did trucking Casey Jones in Front of the Devil.
Hey, Rox is here apparently.
Hey, Rox.
Hi, Rox.
She says hi. But
hi, Rox.
Hi, Rox.
Why isn't she speaking?
I want to hear what she has to say because I saw that she went to the King Kong 85th anniversary showing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh, nice. By the way, did you guys see the thing I posted on Facebook, the King Kong puppet for the Broadway musical?
Yes.
That was cool.
That's amazing. It's
is it hand puppet?
No, it's more like 8 people working it on stage, 2 people doing the animatronics off stage, and one of them providing the voice. It's crazy.
So team puppetry.
Yeah, it's the same principle they used for Warhorse. And I think each horse in Warhorse had like 3 people controlling it. At least 2. But this thing is amazing. And what was it? I looked. I think the tickets to go see it, it opens soon, if I remember correctly. Where is it?
Well, it's been doing the like, I can't think of the word. I'm a lousy
Broadway
actor.
kind of.
Yeah, doing the touring production, just getting it ready. It's been doing that for a while.
Yeah, I was in Australia. I think is where it started because there's like video of the stage production there. But let's see. Yeah, I think it starts October 5th.
Wow.
So yeah, if you wanted to go see a matinee on Halloween, it would cost you at least, well, that can't be right.
Oh, what is that? No, let's hear it.
No,
Doesn't
previously
cost my mortgage.
No, it did previously when I checked. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Let's see.
How many Springsteens?
Oh God, how many Springsteens is Springsteen? How many? I don't even know.
That is now a Broadway ticket unit of measurement.
Yeah, but how much is it? What does that translate to in American dollars?
6.
The last time I saw a quote on a Springsteen ticket actually was about $1,400.
Oof.
Jesus.
Yeah. Although I think the price is going down because he keeps adding damn shows.
Yeah.
Because
Wow.
originally, like Springsteen's run was originally only supposed to be like 3 months, and he's still doing it.
Well, I mean, wouldn't you? Shit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, beats touring. Although now he's going to tour with this apparently.
Can you blame him?
No.
For the record, when Elizabeth met him, briefly, he was polite.
Yeah. Oh, I would go see this thing because I've read that because it's based on the book, and I've read the
Oh, here it
book,
is.
and I enjoyed the book, but
Well, see, the
Still.
problem with going to see Springsteen live is he's gonna play Springsteen music,
He does.
so I'm out.
that's where you draw the line. Oh, okay.
I'm not a fan of blue collar rock. That whole that Springsteen Mellencamp kind of
See, I'm weird about that because I'm not all the way into Springsteen. I like Born to Run.
Yeah.
it's a good song. That is a good song.
I like the Born to Run album, and then I like Darkness on the Edge of Town, and that's about it. Maybe Nebraska, and that's about it.
I
Nebraska's
strangely
pretty-
really like. Oh, sorry. What was that?
Nebraska's pretty great. I mean, it's really dark.
Yeah, it's the super dark records I'm into, and that's about it.
I strangely, because it was a bass driven song, I really got into his song. What was it, 67 channels and nothing on? That was just him and a bass. But that's the sort of anytime a song comes out that's bass driven, I tend to go for it.
Yeah.
Well, and Mellencamp had some good stuff. His album, Mr. Happy Go Lucky, was really good, actually.
Yeah.
Just not a fan. I hear his voice. I'm just like, that doesn't work for me.
I got you. It happens.
But you grew up in a small town, didn't you?
I did. I was born and raised in a small town.
Probably die in a small town, won't you?
I hope
Well,
not.
It depends on what time of night he's driving through that small town and whether or not his car breaks down.
That's true.
Or if he's on fire.
I've always believed that it was going to be sort of a Texas Chainsaw Massacre sort of situation myself. Where
So,
you
okay.
Go in the wrong street, and all of a sudden, the next thing you know, that's it.
That sounds
Which is
about
not a
right.
Mellencamp song, but that's But
could
maybe
be.
it'll be a Pink.
It could be. It would be better than Ghost Brothers of Darkland County. So anyway,
Ouch.
yeah, I know. It was painful, and I sat through it. So I got to shake Stephen King's hand, though, so that's all that matters.
Also not the worst musical crime committed by Stephen King.
Oh, what, Carrie?
No, Maximum Overdrive.
Oh, I thought you meant stage-wise. But, I mean, Maximum Overdrive, what's the...
Well, if you want to call it a musical, you could.
You know what? Oh! Toughly, oh my God. I've got it. You transfer Maximum Overdrive to the stage using the same principle as Starlight Express.
Uh-huh.
Genius!
But you could also make it a jukebox musical and just have it showcase different eras of music from AC/DC.
Exactly. You could do it that way too.
You know what? That if you went total camp on it, it would probably be a hell of a lot of fun.
Yeah, probably would.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So King Kong tickets. I don't know what I was looking at before. It looked like they were like $600 or something like that. But they're about $155 a piece.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
trying to get these.
So,
Which is
so,
not bad.
so that's not even half a Springsteen. It's you're fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
But like, for example, Toughly, you probably saw this. School of Rock is coming, the musical, to the Fox here in Atlanta.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I saw that one.
Yeah, it's great.
That's a really good touring version of it.
Yeah, but it's a really good. My brother took me to see it on Broadway, and it was such fun. And I think I mentioned this before. I did not know until we got to New York, and I saw it on a billboard that it was Andrew Lloyd Webber, and then I didn't know until we got in. I was looking in the program, the playbill, that it was Julian Fellows who wrote the book.
Yeah, that's what's
Yeah.
weird about it.
And it was so much freaking fun. And I'm like, but the show here, the touring show here, costs as much as seeing it on Broadway. And I'm like, oh, come on, guys.
That I think that, and I don't know.
See, it's weird that your shows are
Hamilton
more
was
expensive than
horrible too. The Hamilton ticket prices were pretty bad too.
Well, I mean, but that's Hamilton, which people are like murdering their own grandmother to try to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of fun when I was in New York. It was before Young Frankenstein closed, but it wasn't doing that well. So I got to see Young Frankenstein for like $30, and I had great
cool.
seats.
How was it?
I loved it. I mean,
Really?
it was a spectacle, and it was not, it was a spectacle musical, and it's not like you come away from it remembering any of the music with the exception of Putting on the Ritz.
So was the problem that people were expecting it to be another Producers and it wasn't, as far as like box office goes?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it wasn't different enough. I don't know. It followed so closely to the film that although the guy who played Frankenstein, which I believe was George Barris, he was fine, and he was an alum from the Producers. But the problem is you can't help when he's saying the same dialogue that Gene Wilder had. You can't help but go, man, this guy's like way over the top for this Gene Wilder performance.
Yeah. I mean, that was a big shoes to fill.
Yeah, I don't know that anyone is ever going to successfully perform he wasn't as known for the Producers, but even, I think Matthew Broderick comes up a little bit short as Bloom. But, I don't think anybody can really take one of his signature roles, Johnny Depp, and make it their own, because you're going to kind of compare it.
Well, the thing, too, about the Producers is when I saw a production of it, I was like, because of the fact that it's so much those two characters, the fact that, you didn't have Zero Mostel, and they weren't trying to be Zero Mostel and Gene Wilder, I think it was okay for me. You know what I mean? I could kind of let go of it, which, if they're following the movie too closely, I can see where oh God, all my names are gone. Marty Feldman. I'm sure the guy playing the Marty Feldman role, you're like, well, you're no Marty Feldman. Well, of course he's not Marty Feldman. There was only ever one Marty Feldman.
Right. And there's not another Cloris Leachman.
Well, that doesn't have to be, because she's still around, isn't she?
Yes.
Right, but she wasn't in the show I saw.
Oh, yeah.
And, but why can't I think of her name all of a sudden? The blonde. She was fine.
Terry Garr, who played Terry Garr role.
Yeah, I mean, Terry Garr was fun in that role, and she's really good in that role. But it is probably the most replaceable because otherwise you're looking at Cloris Leachman and Madeline Kahn, and and just these powerhouses. Not to say anything against Terry Garr, I like her a lot.
Yeah, I got you. But yeah, so King Kong, $155. Knock yourselves out. If you see it, tell me how it was. Because I would love to see it.
It looks beautiful.
It looks amazing. I mean the fact that you've got, that many puppeteers on stage, and they're known as the King's Company. I love that. That just makes me happy for some reason.
That also means that all you have to do now is keep that puppet, and we are only one puppet away from having a kaiju fight on Broadway.
Oh, King Kong versus Godzilla the musical. Fuck yeah. Now you're talking.
And you could even do Mothra effects with a scrim. You don't need a puppet for that.
Oh, but see, I hate to say this, but you use the same principle as Miss Saigon, where they dropped in the helicopter.
Well, yeah.
You just fly in Mothra.
And mainly the reason you want Mothra is because you want the twins harmonizing, because you have a lot of musical.
And if there is a
nice.
Mothra mishap, I mean, you can make it part of the meta fiction.
Yeah.
Oh God, Miss Saigon. What a terrible show.
I could go to that.
I'm sorry.
Well, I might get out of it because we have tickets to the Fox here, and it's on the list. We transferred out the Phantom of the Opera sequel to go see the Carole King musical.
Okay.
That's smart, yeah.
And I'm trying to get out of the fucking 9/11 thing. There's some 9/11 musical I don't really want to sit through.
Oh,
wait a minute.
It's actually really good.
Really?
This is the one about the planes landing in Canada?
In Newfoundland.
Yeah, I
it's
actually
amazing.
heard that was good too.
You did? Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, Miss Saigon, I've sat through it twice. I don't really want to ever sit through it again.
God. Yeah, we went to New York to see shows. We did the cancellation tickets thing. We got tickets to see Miss Saigon. And I swear to God, at intermission, we were like, do we want to just leave? Because we could leave. And then we decided, the helicopter's supposed to be cool. Let's stay and watch the helicopter. That's the only reason we stayed for the second act.
Stay for the helicopter?
Yeah, pretty much. And this is what's interesting. Because that was such a big deal. They basically fly in a helicopter. Not literally fly in, but on wires, fly in a helicopter. And one night, I heard that there was a problem with the mechanism that would fly in the helicopter, right? Mm-hmm. So they couldn't do it. So they just used the sound and had the actors basically appear on the roof or wherever it was that they were supposed to get out of the helicopter. And but here's the thing. Somebody who was in the audience was like, man, you were really playing the helicopter sound effects loud. He was like, no, we weren't. That was the same volume. But because they were leaving it to your imagination about the helicopter rather than literally putting a fucking helicopter on stage, it was that more intense because you were having to use your imagination to plug in the helicopter.
See, now I kind of wish that, there was video of the Spider-Man musical.
Yeah.
Oh, there has to be. You can't tell me there's not bootleg.
I know, there has to be.
I saw Aerosmith back in, I mean, not to take away from the Spider-Man musical, but this was Aerosmith in the Jamie's Got a Gun era, where they did an effect where they quote unquote landed a helicopter on stage, and they just did it with lights and fans, and it worked beautifully.
Yeah.
They just had a scrim that when the helicopter was supposed to land, they just dropped the scrim, and then the band was there.
Yeah, you can do amazing things with scrim. I remember first time
Roger Waters do a thing with a helicopter on one of the wall tours?
Probably.
Wait, didn't he actually have a helicopter live in Berlin? Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Like a real helicopter.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, now I'm combining the conversations, and I kind of want, instead of a flying pig around the audience, I just think a flying Green Goblin would be a lot more fun.
JJ, I did tell you about the time that my band played Animals in concert, right? We played the whole album.
No.
Okay.
And when's that going to be on Spotify, Witch?
Oh God, I wish there was a recording of it, but I will tell you this: we had a friend of the band at the appropriate moment walk through the audience with a stuffed animal pig hanging from a fishing pole. So it was hovering over the audience. We just had him wander around in it.
Nice.
Because we had to.
And next time it'll be a Green Goblin.
Hey, I think what's going to happen is Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark is going to be like Carrie the Musical. When it does get a revival.
Its moment.
Yeah.
Well, and the thing is, it might just really need a production that is not plagued by Julie Taymor.
You know, Bono and the Edge are going to need something in their retirement, aren't they?
Well, see, here's the thing, though. It's what's
eventually.
sad. What's sad is, like, Julie Taymor, like The Lion King is fucking amazing.
But that's pretty much all you can say about her.
Yeah, because Across the Universe is pretty shit.
Oh, it's so bad.
And so is Titus.
Yeah.
The only thing about Across the Universe, and I made my girlfriend watch this on YouTube because I was like, avoid the rest of the film. But the I Want to Hold Your Hand number is amazing.
Let's see. Who was this? Hang on a second.
But basically, I'm just saying that, you know, The Lion King is one of those, like, a stopped clock is right, you know, twice a day. The Lion King, she got lucky, but nothing else she's done has been, it's all been visual over substance. And in the case of The Lion King, the substance was already there.
Right. Now, I will say that I saw the M. Butterfly she directed on Broadway with Clive Owen.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw it in previews, so they were still working out stuff, and I could see where they could fix things. It was, JJ, you would be pleased. It was really, you would not know it was a Julie Taymor film unless play, unless I told you.
Okay.
Because basically, all it was the sets were basically flats that would like slide in and turn so they could become walls or doors or whatever they needed to be. That was it. And Clive Owen was great. I think the problem was with the play because it was one of those things where, and I don't know if you've seen it or the movie or whatever, but without spoiling anything, basically you could tell it was one of those situations where the writer had a place he needed to get to, and he kind of halfway through the second act went, "Oh shit, I'm not there," and then had to like shoehorn it in. Is what it felt like. kind of like the Book of Wicked.
I was about to say the same thing.
Oh my god! Yes, Lord, I'm here.
That was so much reverb. That was amazing.
That was incredible.
How's that?
That rocks.
That's a rocks.
I had to switch over to Chrome somehow.
That sounds
Something
like
else.
rocks.
Yeah.
Did you upgrade?
No.
Did you have an OS update?
No, not on my laptop, and I think that might be a problem.
Mac.
Yes.
I spent today debugging.
Oh, on your what were you? What did
Both
you upgrade?
my iMac and my laptop, just to make sure everything was running okay.
Yeah.
So I haven't had any problems so far.
I've been having problems with the email lately. Well, here's the thing. I have a tech guy, and I use Adobe Creative Suite that I bought years ago.
Yeah.
And he says, "Don't upgrade." I'm like, "Well, really?" He's like, "Yeah."
What?
Well, I'm running Maverick.
Okay.
So now it's
as rocks would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now it's like what? Sierra
Mojave.
Heights, whatever.
It's Mojave, yeah.
Okay.
Mojave was the one that came out yesterday.
So wait a minute. So basically, if you're running the James Garner Maverick, you don't want to upgrade to the Mel Gibson Maverick?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
For a variety of reasons.
Well,
Gotcha.
the thing is the software that I own legitimately,
Right.
Adobe has now gone for the last couple of years as a subscription service.
Yeah, that's what I've got for Audition. Yep.
Yeah. So
I've got the new Photoshop.
Yeah, how much is that a month?
I think I've got the
19?
photographers. It's actually not. I got it when it was on sale for $9, and they grandfathered me on the price. So it's like $9 a month for like Photoshop and Lightroom.
I own it, and I have InDesign, so it's like
I have like the older CS2 stuff for Windows, which still works with Windows 10. Which, by the way, Windows. But Photoshop I couldn't get to work, so I had to kind of do the Photoshop one.
Oh,
I didn't know that they went monthly service. That's
yeah,
bullshit.
it is bullshit. It is.
My son. But speaking of that, my son just got Adobe certified this morning.
Oh, nice!
Yay! What does that mean?
That means that he can
now that I've screwed over 4 years of college. No, go ahead. Sorry. What is it?
I don't know what exactly it means. Well, actually, I do know what it means because I asked the same question. It means that
he paid $600 for the test.
No. Actually, coincidentally or ironically, no, it's none of those things. None of those words make any sense. The Adobe pays the school because he's in high school. Pays the high school $300 for each kid that they get certified.
Oh,
so or into the production program that he's in.
Nice.
So because they want them using their stuff.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and now he doesn't have to go to art school.
Well, what is it called, the Premiere Pro. So it's all video stuff.
Okay. Well, no, Premiere Pro is that's high end for video. Yeah.
So your child's gaming YouTube channel is starting when?
He would have it starting right now if he could.
Oh my gosh, he could start doing sound engineering for here, right?
Yeah, let's get rid of the crappy guy we have now.
Yeah, just get rid of him. So I did upgrade my phone to OS 12.
That's not bad.
No, it isn't.
I like it.
I wanted it because they upgraded iBooks to books.
Yeah.
Which is desperately needed something.
They went to a little more of a general EPUB format than a proprietary one, which is nice.
Oh my god, yeah. So one of my big gripes is I can't do Justified on the margins. It's all left.
Elephant thing? Nothing.
Yeah, no, I like Justified books.
I've always used the Kindle app.
I use the Leonard app.
Yeah.
All right.
I do like the
just trying to go with John's joke.
So I'm there with you.
But if it's Leonard, do you have to upgrade to Part 6?
Oh, too soon.
Maybe in 3 to 10 years.
Apparently it's got 3. Oh yeah.
Hey!
You got me on that one.
Race to the finish line.
Little groggy there, Tuffley.
Cold medicine.
Now that
I blame Dragon Con.
Now that we are making horrible sexual predator jokes, I should be leaving. So
oh, is that what does it?
Can't be any worse than the last version of Predator.
Bump.
Hey,
there is a So there was there's a movie theater that I drive by that now the marquee makes it sound like it's a very specialized toy because it says the house, the clock, and its walls Predator, which is when you know that Hot Toys is running out of ideas. But before that, I loved the fact that the marquee said the Predator Nun.
nice.
And so that's a movie that well, probably Catholics would welcome the change of pace.
It'll show up on the Sunday morning bulletin.
Well, you know what it is, JJ? It's a spinoff from the Blues Brothers.
I would watch that.
I know, right?
By the way, we now live in a world where Eli Roth has made a children's film.
Oh. Well, I mean, Clive Barker wrote a great children's book.
Oh, yes, he did.
Yeah, those were good.
Yeah, Disney bought the rights to turn them into a theme park. I don't know whatever happened to that.
No way.
Yep.
Oh my
Oh, yeah.
gosh.
But no, I actually want to see the House with the Clock in its walls because I want to see Jack Black doing some kind of weird Orson Welles parody.
Yeah.
But yeah, I should be heading out. So thank you all for.
Do you have any recommendations before you go?
I mean, I named a couple of comics.
That's true. That's true. You mentioned
horror books.
Yeah.
The last one I'll say I really have been enjoying is, believe it or not, the title Mrs. and Mr. and Mrs. X.
Oh yeah,
I am not a big. I'm not a big '90s comics fan,
and I wouldn't have pegged you a fan of those characters. So,
and I was not a Rogue Gambit fan at all. But so I listened to an interview with the author Kelly Thompson, and I was like, okay, well,
she's great.
She has her shit together. So I read the Rogue and Gambit miniseries, which I highly recommend. So I guess that's on here too.
I'm actually reading her Avengers West Coast.
Oh, it's really good, and
Yeah.
I love the fact that Quentin Quire's on there.
Yeah.
But so I read the Rogue and Gambit miniseries, and so I was like, oh wow, for the first time ever, I get it. I get Rogue and Gambit as a couple. And then spoilers for X-Men, I guess, if you're not following, but Mr. and Mrs. X came out of the Kitty Pryde as Colossus wedding, which I had a sort of a problem with because although I like both characters, it's been, Chris Claremont has even said that he wrote Kitty as queer, and so the marriage between Kitty and Colossus just felt weird. But they didn't get married. They threw a swerve at us in the last minute.
Apparently the month where no one got married.
Yeah.
Because that was like, what was that, a week or two after the Batman thing?
Yeah. But they swooped in and let Rogue and Gambit get married, and Kelly Thompson's writing the series of right now. It's Rogue and Gambit having their honeymoon in space.
Okay.
Space. All right. So how does that work?
Kitty sent them on a mission, and then they ran afoul.
No honeymoon.
Well, they ran afoul with the Shi'ar, which is what the X-Men do.
That's still no honeymoon.
Yeah.
Well, they were honeymooning in space, and it was because they were in space that Kitty went, by the way, do this. So
I seem to recall that still no honeymoon. MJ's honeymoon. So
yeah. Oh, and the new Spider-Man series is pretty good too. By the way, the Nick Spencer Ryan Otley series. I only read the first 4 issues or so, but it's the first time I've read Peter Parker feeling like Peter Parker in years. And of course, this is the time for Spider-Man because that game is fucking great.
That game is great. I love the game.
I am purposely not giving myself much time to play it because I'm really afraid that if I try to play before work, that's just
it's a time suck. It's quite a time suck.
As for me right now, every landmark has been photographed, every backpack has been found, but the main story has barely been touched upon.
Yeah.
Every time I cut it on, he's like, "No, really, we should go check out what Shocker wants." I'm like, "Fuck what Shocker wants. I want to go take a picture of the raft. Here we go. Whee!
I want to go find the Ghostbusters firehouse."
Yeah. It's the Sanctum Sanctorium. I'm gonna perch on it. I've even been doing this thing where I go to every church and perch on the top cross and go, "Hey, look at me, I'm Daredevil." So yeah, I'm having a blast, but I'm not really playing it like the game wants me to play it. I'm just I'm gonna web swing to Chelsea.
It's great.
So yeah, all of that. And I'll talk to you guys later.
All right,
Word.
All right. Dun dun dun.
Possibly spoilers for one of Mike's recommendations later.
Oh. So
King Kong.
what?
Didn't you go see King Kong?
I just went. No, I did. I went.
Yeah.
85th anniversary of King Kong.
How was it?
It was good.
Now, was it restored or anything? Or?
No, they just had a really good 35 millimeter print.
Yeah, because they're doing a a 2-night showing of Night of the Living Dead here for the 50th anniversary. And so I can't wait to see that restored thing on the big screen.
Well, it's interesting. So here in Jacksonville, it was a fundraiser for the Norman Studios that was here during the 1900s. So the Norman Studios was known. So it was a white person that owned the Norman Studios, but he focused a lot on doing African-American, all cast African-American movies. And they actually did a aerial one. So there's still a couple films in existence. So the 5 buildings for the studio still exist. So for years they've been trying to, you know, refurbish it, and it is a silent era film studio. So there's 5 buildings. They're still in existence. The only other silent film studio left is one in Hollywood, and it's really small. So the interesting thing is when at the turn of the century, when all of the studios were in Chicago or in New York, they couldn't film during, you know, the winter or even sometimes even in the summer because the lighting wasn't so good. So they sent somebody down, sent him on a train, said, go head south. Now, this one guy who was instrumental on starting film here in Jacksonville, this happened after the Great Fire of 1901. So in 1901, Jacksonville's downtown and part of the north side was pretty much destroyed by a fire. And so when the film studios came down to scout out a location for an East Coast, you know, or what they call a winter studio, they found Jacksonville because it was on the rise, that it was a downtown new city. So it was like around, 1907 or so. So a lot of like Paramount was here. This Norman Studios was here. MGM started here. So there was a big film industry here in for 15 years at least. The interesting thing is the producer of King Kong was actually born here. And so that's Marion Cooper. So one of his uncles gave him like a book on expeditions and stuff. And it talks about, you know, this French hunter goes into the deepest Africa and he shoots a gorilla. So now, and the cool thing is one of our local historians was giving a little bit of history of King Kong before the showing, that King Kong is based on Marion Cooper's idea of King Kong, which he got from this book when he was like 6 years old, you know, because during the 1800s and stuff, exploration was really big. So yeah, for a long time, filming was here. The lighting, it's really interesting. When I was in LA, I actually looked at the lighting, and it's almost similar to here. As far as, you know, everybody will say that, you know, LA has a certain light and stuff. And we kind of have the same thing as far as the you know, the way the sun hits and stuff. So, and then everything just moved west and stuff. I think Oliver Hardy did a film along the coast somewhere because he's from Georgia, from Laurel and Hardy. So anyway, yeah, the film was really good. I hadn't seen it in a number of years. And the print was pretty decent, but we had enough of the pops and cracks and stuff. And at one point, well, actually the start of it, they had it backwards. So, you know, so we actually had to wait. It was just like it was the real deal of, here's an old film you're watching. So, and it holds up. It does. You know, when you consider what Peter Jackson's was like 3 hours.
It felt more like 17.
Oh, was it? Okay. Wait, no, he wouldn't make that longer than The Lord of the Rings.
It just felt that way, is what he said.
Well, it was interesting. So Fay Wray was 96 when she passed away.
Yep.
And Peter Jackson wanted her in as a cameo.
Although there was an extended cut, right? That pushed it past 3 hours.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
I seem to recall there was an extended cut of that.
Oh. So
which apparently hints that there was some editing going on.
okay. Okay. So it was fun. It was good.
Nice.
So did everyone survive Dragon Con? I guess you already ran through all that, right?
Well, no, we actually got sidetracked pretty surprise, pretty early on the Dragon Con talk.
Okay.
I was actually sick for like 2 weeks afterwards.
Oh my gosh, really? This is the
Yeah.
first time I didn't get sick.
Oh, I didn't.
Congratulations.
But man, I'll tell you, I was like exhausted.
Yeah.
The older you get, Dragon Con's gonna kill you.
I just take the week off after.
I kind of did, but I couldn't. I had stuff. So, but I was
What
like,
hotel- what
I was
hotel-
dragging through. What?
What hotel did you stay in, Rob?
I'm sorry?
Where
What
were
hotel
you?
did you stay?
Oh, what hotel?
Yes, sir. That's
Oh,
right.
He was at
Hilton.
the Hilton. The
Where?
Magic Hilton.
The Hilton.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
the Hilton, wasn't it?
oh,
Yeah.
awesome. Oh.
I was
Yeah.
You were there too?
Yeah.
Rockster at the Westin, right? No, you were at the.
No, I was at the W. That added more to my biking time.
Toughly remind me next year if you're at the Hilton to show you the other elevator.
Yeah.
Not the
Yeah.
service elevator, the other one.
What's
There's a
the
third-
other? What? What's
Yeah, I
the
found-
other?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a third one. There's the convention elevator.
No way. Oh,
There's
is that the one like Capaldi uses?
Well, no, because he was at the Sheridan. But
Okay.
Really? They put him
Yeah.
on the Sheridan?
yeah.
That's interesting. Oh, because Brit Track's over there.
No, they were at the
No.
Hilton.
Why did they put him at the Sheridan?
Isn't there like an elevator that goes from like the business floors to like the actual convention wing
I think so, yes.
that Dragon Con never uses?
Why does Dragon Con not use
Unofficially, yes.
Well, that's like what's his name from Warehouse was over at the Sheridan.
Yeah, but on the scale, he's
Well,
not Peter Capaldi.
okay. Well, here's the thing. It's like I'm sure that they do ask, do you want like a quiet hotel or party hotel? Do they ask those things, Rob?
Yes.
I guess, but still the Sheridan. No, all right, whatever.
Okay.
Well, the Sheridan has bigger
It's
suites.
a nice hotel. Don't get me wrong, but it seems like
Oh.
it would be inconvenient for him to get in and out of things.
The suites are nicer at the Sheridan. They also just get into a van and they drive them over.
That still, excuse me, that still's got to take like 12 hours.
Almost.
The traffic that's out there.
Yeah.
I'm still surprised nobody's.
Well, next year when you have your 50,000 degrees of Dragon Con, you can ask the transportation people. How
50 shades of Dragon Con.
50 degrees. 50
There-
shades.
I just,
50 shades.
you know what?
of
I like
Dragon
this idea.
Con.
Just keep renaming it every year.
I
now.
know. I do too.
Like
yeah.
50,000 Leagues Under Dragon Con.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The 13 Ghosts of Dragon Con.
50 Pulitzers of Dragon Con.
The Beast from 50,000 Dragon Cons.
Hey, did you ever get that live one up, John?
No, this is like the first time I've been back in the studio since.
Is it really?
Yes.
Oh.
I've avoided this thing like the plague after 50 days.
Well, next year I'll try to make time to be. so I
I've
can
seen
do it.
too much of this room.
You should put the live one up because there's
Oh.
a lot of people on the Facebook. They're all bemoaning. They're like, "Oh, I miss Dragon Con.
Yeah.
I miss Dragon Con."
Well,
So
I don't know how good that episode is, though. To be honest with you,
It's okay. I was good on it.
No.
We got to hear.
Well, I was good on it. I don't know about the rest of you punks, but
Well, we heard from Eternal Zon, and I've seen
Yeah.
her around, but I've never.
She's on every year on 50 Days of Dragon.
Is she really? I don't listen to your show.
Yeah,
hey, you know what? You should put out that live thing of that show I never listened to. You know, the one I was on.
Nice.
Yeah, no. She's usually like the first or second guest.
Is she really?
Yeah.
What does she talk about?
She always her thing is always talking about how to get set up with the hotels and things like that, because she's been really active in the hotel groups forever. Does that, and before there was a newbie tour, she used to do a newbie mentoring thing.
Oh.
She would have people share their contact information. She would, if they had questions or whatever, they could just call her while at the con, because she's an Eternal or whatever. But no, she's been a guest on 50 Days Dragon Con for I don't know,
Ever, because she's Eternal. She's got an Eternal membership
for at least 6 or 7 of the 10 years that we've done it. So
but she's got Eternal membership. She got it like way back in the day.
when it was only with she
like $500.
$500
Oh
for
my
Eternal
gosh.
membership.
I almost bought it. Damn.
Yeah.
So
That's half a Springsteen.
it was her story's funny though. She was saying how she bought the membership. She's like, I was a lot of money, but she's like, it was worth it. She goes, and she was telling, she's a good storyteller. She's like, back in the day, children, when you had to wait in line for like 4 hours for membership, some volunteer saw that she had a different color postcard and removed her out of the line. And as she was walking by, she put an L on her forehead for all the other losers. It was great. So anyway, and we played that game, that horrible game. Well, I didn't.
You didn't?
Was it a different deck of cards?
No. We were playing that Star Wars Family
okay.
Feud, and I made Silvermane play that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
It was, that guy sort of was like, and I'm married, and I'm like, oh, okay. That's good. Yeah, so we're asking about, the people that are in the audience. And he's like, my name is so-and-so, and I'm married. It's like, oh, okay. Yeah, your wife's right there, and your 2 children.
And I wasn't wondering about that.
No, I know. So that's when I started calling him Silvermane. I'm like, settle down, Silvermane. You're good. Okay. So that was a good one. That was a good one, John. You should do those again, the live one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
you're like, I don't need to talk about Dragon Con.
Yeah, you should do a live show. And you should put me on it again because that was good. I like me.
Yeah. That's the one I'll ask you about. All the other ones that you do, that basically 500 you've done prior. Yeah.
So anyway, so how's everybody's reality now? Yeah.
Dragon Con was fun.
It's fantastic.
It's medicated, so it's good.
Good.
Yeah.
I had fun. I enjoyed it.
Did too.
Yeah, it was really fun. I had fun this year, and I wasn't exhausted, which was nice.
It was less stressful this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
The only fan panels I did, I think, were for Lee.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, I liked the Beatles panel I did.
Man, what was funny is too is I ended up not being scheduled, and I almost went to that, but I was very tired.
And by the way, also I was correct. The White Album is coming out in November. So yay.
Good for you. Yay.
I knew the answer to that question.
Yeah.
Oh, the skeptic panels were. Oh my god, the production those guys put into those panels are amazing.
Yeah.
Holy crap! I'm like, wow, we're on a sound stage. It's just like, wow. So it was good. Yeah.
I made it a point to thank all the tech op people for the big room panels.
Mm-hmm.
And then I thanked the woman that was the sign interpreter.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh my God, you're the only person who's ever thanked me. I'm like, really? And I said, what do you do if they say a naughty word? And she goes, I think of something that's not naughty.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Huh.
So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Shocking. Here's been shocked.
She would be cool
I
to have
am because it's like it seemed like I saw a sign interpreter for some stand-up comic.
Adam Hills, probably.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that person was actually signing swear words.
Yeah, because that was part of the gag. He says she has to basically sign anything I say.
Yes.
So basically,
and that's when she turned around when he said that, right?
Yeah.
Well, he says basically. So basically, what I'm saying is about 20 minutes into this, it's going to devolve into make her do boobs, and she did. She is fantastic.
Yeah. So yeah, Dragon. I had way too many panels, but they were good. All of them were good. Even the Jack Williamson one, where I was the youngest person on the panel. Yeah.
I had 9 this year, 9 panels.
Mm-hmm.
It was great.
And they were good ones too.
Well, I was supposed to do more, but Catherine Tate decided that she was going to do the panels her way.
I watched hers. Hers were
They were great.
fantastic.
Yeah, I liked hers.
She basically is like, look, I don't know the answer to all these sci-fi questions I'm going to get, and they're all going to ask all these like cerebral things, and everyone's going to be tired of that, so I'm just doing something else.
Yeah.
You can tell that Barrowman coached her on how to do cons. You can totally tell.
Right. But you know what? To me, her panels made so much, more sense, or because she is a comedian.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I went to the one. I don't think do they record all of them?
I think they do, but I don't think all of them
air.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they do now, but if you buy like the streaming package now, you can get them.
Oh, okay. Because I like the one with the two ginger children, and she's like, "These are my children." It was great. It was, it was really good to see, and she's fast.
Yes.
As a comedian, she's really on the ball. So I really enjoyed her.
So they record everything. It goes out live at that time.
Mm-hmm.
However, if it's not in their contract or they got some sort of contract exclusion, it will not appear rebroadcast after the contract.
Yeah. Like they have that with some of the Doctor Who people with BBC America. Yeah.
I see.
Rocks, all the Sesame Street people were awesome.
Yeah, they were. So I was waiting for Cosette, for the Hilton, crossing over the bridge, and Bob and Louise, whatever his real name is. It's like, oh my God, that's a great bike. So yeah, they were fantastic. Great.
And I got to ask Bob McGrath who the people were in his neighborhood.
Yeah.
He's like, what? And I said, well, where you live? I don't need to know where it is. Like, what do the people in your neighborhood do? Is there like a plumber?
Who are the people in your neighborhood?
And he just thought that was a hoot.
Like nobody's ever asked him that?
No.
Wow.
And Roscoe Orman was telling the story how when he was doing Sesame Street at the same time, there was a detective show on CBS where he was playing a character named Roscoe, somebody, I forgot the name of the character, somebody the pimp. He was playing a pimp on a private detective show. It was like a reoccurring role. Yeah. And he came back to Sesame Street for filming, and they're like, you got to pick one, man. You can't.
Oh, wow.
And he was talking about that, yeah.
Wow, that's tough.
You know,
That's a tough thing to do.
and
Yeah.
I was talking to Luis, and I'm like, so do you guys? How is it going to bed at night knowing that like an entire generation or two knows how to read and write because of you?
That's me.
And he's like, believe we've talked about this and we think about it often, but we try to stay humble. And I'm like, oh, okay. He goes, it's a pretty intense thing if you think about it.
Yeah.
You know? And then like one of them was talking about when they go on vacation, there's like they were in Cyprus and they saw like a different version of Sesame Street, but probably from Italy or Cyprus,
Mhm.
you know, because they've got it franchised out and stuff. And they were just telling me how cool that was. So
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, no, Dragon Con was fun this year.
And I cried a little when Carol Spinney said goodbye.
Oh.
Oh.
Mm.
Yeah.
For forever or
He's not doing any more public appearances.
oh okay.
Mm.
Yeah.
So then just for the show.
I mean, that was it. I mean, Dragon Con was it for him. He's not doing anything else now. So, which is why I think they got everybody.
Right. Well, I mean, it's one of those Dragon Con's like one of those overwhelming things for like actors and stuff sometimes. Yeah. I mean, I remember when Ernest Borgnine was there and Martin Landau, they're both like, why are we here? It's like, look, these are your fans. And then they like kind of like, holy crap, people still remember us and stuff. So it could be a lot draining. So did Capaldi have a good time?
Yes.
Good.
I ran into him when he was leaving, going to the airport, and he goes, I've been meaning to ask you. And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, in my role as Hobo King, do I get any privileges? So, yeah. But he thought that, yeah. And his wife.
You want to explain that to the listeners?
So, Rox, Widge told me that I should have Peter Capaldi, when he met you, say, hi, I'm the Hobo King. Right?
He kind of did.
Yeah. So I had to explain to him, between the time we got off the stage to the time you met him, why that joke would be funny. And so yeah, and you know, so then that was cool. And
well, when you introduced him to me, it was like I said, oh, you know, gave him a hug, and I said, thank you for coming. And I said, oh, by the way, you've been riffing off my hair for the last number of years. He goes, well, I am the Hobo King. I said, were you voted or something? And he's like, what do you mean? I said, well, do you know about the Hobo Convention in Britt, Iowa?
Yeah.
He looks over to Rob, and Rob's like, yeah.
Which I had to explain later.
I said, it's a 120-year-old convention. So, and then he's like, okay. He's like, do you want a photo? I'm like, oh, absolutely.
He's like, what have I done?
Yeah.
What have I gotten myself in for?
Yes. Somehow you need to shoot him an email that somehow all Hobo Kings and Queens get their portrait painted. They do.
You know, it's only vague symbols though that make up their face, so it's really.
So the other fun thing is, I you know, he's like, "How's Nick Frost doing?" I'm like, "I think he's doing all right." He goes, "Tell him I said hi," and I'm like, "Okay." He goes, "Go to his table and tell him I said hi." I'm like, "All right." So next day, I run over to Nick Frost's table and say, "Hey, Peter Capaldi says hello," and he goes, "Really?" And so he writes this thing down. He goes, "Give this note to him." So then I had to run down to the room where Capaldi is and talk to their door person. And I'm like, just hand this to him. It's like, and Peter sees me and he just motions me over. Like, I'm like, okay. He goes, like, it's from Nick Frost. And he's like, oh. So then he takes the back of the paper and writes a note and tells me to run that back up to Nick Frost. At which point Nick Frost laughs and won't tell me what the note is.
Do you like cupcakes?
No.
Check yes or no.
But he was kind of bummed.
It said, how many times can we get this jerk to go back and forth?
Probably. But
Awesome.
and Tom Weller was really nice too. Tom Welling was very nice.
Cool.
Yeah.
Was he super?
Sure.
It's a Superman joke.
Probably the only awkward thing for the con for me was I had to do a Lost panel, and the guy from Lost didn't come because
my lord!
Yeah, I watched.
Oh
you
yeah,
texted me.
I was there. I was.
Don was watching me suffer and writhe in agony.
I was trying to come up with questions. I'm like, oh my god.
She hated the show.
Yes.
That's
late.
like Rob. You've now done a Lee panel practically.
Yeah. But so John is witness. Oh, cool.
No, I was there. I saw it.
I just remember you texted me, Rob, saying, "Yeah, all the guests for the Lost panel are lost."
So yeah. But I think we did all right.
The most entertaining part of that panel was actually Lee out there doing her little soft shoe, trying to keep everyone from leaving.
Oh,
Until people were late coming in.
And I was trying to get Amira Furlan to talk about anything. Like, hey, what kind of sandwich did you have today? I mean.
Oh, you know what I did like? She was gonna start. She was about to complain how cold it was.
Yeah.
Because she goes there and she's like bundled up in a parka.
Yeah.
You look at her in the petting zoo and she's like, it's like, oh my God, lady, eat a sandwich. Eat a sandwich. So, oh my God, I met the coolest person on a panel. Two people. So they were on the Science of Sherlock Holmes panel. We had Bob Nygaard, who has been on. He's done a couple of showings actually he had his own show or an episode. He's a he's a retired New York City police detective that now investigates psychic fraud.
Yeah, this sounded cool.
That guy was so freaking cool. And then Stephen Cass, who's on IE Spectrum, and he writes a lot of like science, Hollywood science stuff. So man, him and I were like just ganging up on Bob afterwards. He's like, "Oh my God, tell us all the psychic stuff, all the fraud crap." He was really cool. So he was explaining this one investigation. It was like this one famous female writer that this one psychic woman, fraud lady, bilked her out of like $14 million and stuff. Oh my God, it was really cool. He was really cool. So apparently the skeptic track picked him up. So he was going to do a panel with them, and I ran into him, but he was really cool. He had the New York accent and everything. It's like, so at one point during our discussion, I said, "So Bob, let me ask you, when you have a crime scene, how many people show up that they're like Sherlock Holmes?" He goes, "All the time." All the time.
Yeah, I was on an elevator with Annabeth Gish. She was really, really nice.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually stuck in an elevator for 10 minutes with John Delancey.
Oh, cool.
The rest of the con at that particular moment experienced a sense of calm and tranquility because probably the two curmudgeonous people in the entire convention were in the same point in stasis.
So John Delancey actually, in the parade, went out with the skeptics. He did not go out with Star Trek.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't want to go out with the Star Trek folks. He went out with the skeptics.
No, man, the first time I met Delancey was years ago. And that was here. And there was like a local Star Trek group or something. And they're like, "Oh, we have our own little convention." It was sad. Very sad. So a friend of mine's like, "Do you want to go?" I'm like, "Not really."
Wasn't
I'll
he actually here
go.
this year for like the Assassin's Creed panels?
Oh no, maybe. But anyway,
Well, he was.
Delancey was doing that typical, William Shatner thing, because like, "Can you say your famous line?" He's like, "No." He goes, "I can't remember them." So then I think it was like years later when he found out how much money you can make at a convention that he started like revisiting lines.
He was actually there as a skeptic guest, really, mostly.
Was he really?
Yeah.
Because I
Oh,
know there was
wow.
like a couple of Assassin's Creed voice panels he was on.
Oh,
That's probably true too. I mean, he's had a
He's Desmond's dad in the Assassin's Creed series.
variety of careers. So
Yeah.
he does. I mean,
The War of the Worlds is amazing.
Yeah.
well, he directed a couple of operas too. So, good for him. Yay.
So Marvel Strike Force.
Yeah,
Oh,
apparently
Witch is
that's a thing.
Witch is gone.
That is some sort of thing that Widge is trying to draft people into.
Oh my gosh, it says left the group chat.
We drove him away.
Oh
I
no, Widge is
guess.
gone. It's John Delancey.
Yeah.
We started John Delancey
No,
cast.
I can't remember my famous
Once we started John
cues.
Delancey cast, it's all gonna.
Yeah. Maybe.
He was also John Delancey was also the voice of Discord in My Little Pony. Frenchie.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Apparently still is because it's 2010 till present.
Yep.
So, John, what did you like about the convention? Other than,
There was
Not
this
doing-
there was this
not doing
panel I
podcast
did with
every
this person rocks.
yeah.
She was really good, so she tells me.
Yeah, that one she was on. Yeah,
The one that
that one
Hey,
she did.
Hey, I believe she pinch hitted too. She wasn't really slated to be on that panel.
Which one?
So in other words, she showed up is what
It was the only good one you
showed
did.
up.
it was the only good panel I did, apparently. Only one worth talking about.
Hey, Wedge.
Hey,
Hey.
yeah, my Mac decided to reboot. That's the first time that's ever happened.
Ooh.
So
Ooh.
we brought
Worlds
up
are
Delancey.
colliding.
Are you a Maverick? Or are you Mojave? Or are you
No, I haven't upgraded to Mojave yet.
High Sierra.
Western Indies?
Are you High Sierra?
Yes, I believe so.
Oh, well, it's good. Good guess.
I'd rather be a High Sierra than a My Sharona.
Yeah.
I'd like to be high.
I'd rather have this bottle in front of me than a frontal lobotomy.
Oh,
We were getting ready to talk about Marvel Strike Force.
Oh, well, good.
Is that on the agenda? Is that on
Yeah.
the?
It's on his agenda.
Oh,
Yes, yes.
It's on agenda.
Widge's indoctrination campaign for Strike Force.
Hey, I didn't force anybody to get on this game. I just talked about it.
Not yet.
You didn't guilt anybody into it, I'm sure.
No, I didn't. But
John
Yeah,
Delancey is 70 years old.
Who?
what? Who? What?
John Delancey is 70 years
Oh,
old.
you're just trying to get John the boot off again.
We think the keyword has something to do with John Delancey. Keep going.
Delancey.
But
Alright.
no, I
He got
find
married
this
in
this whole
1984.
So
married.
what is this Strike Force thing? Do I need to look this up? I need
What?
to do something.
I'm sure there's
what's
a
this
technical.
Amway thing Widge is going on about?
Hey, I stopped selling Amway 6 months ago.
What do you know about
And
Amway?
how much
Is it because-
protein
is it
powder is
because
in your
you're-
basement, sir?
Is it because the checks just keep coming in, Widge? Is that why?
Oh yeah, it's passive income. I love it. I've switched to aluminum siding and door-to-door vacuum cleaners.
Solar panels.
Oh, absolutely. You know me, I got that white van that's just full of various gift ideas. Is
Did
what
you,
I like to
did you
call
happen
them.
to watch White Gold at all?
White gold.
No, but
It was a
By
BBC show,
Liz
but it was on
why you gotta
Netflix.
be so racist? What?
It was a BBC show on Netflix. I'll remember who starred in it in a second, but it was basically a show about these guys who sell windows, aluminum framing for windows.
Now, is this a reality show or is this like a
No,
drama?
it's a drama. It's actually really
Okay.
good. God, I'll remember who it is. He was in Dark Knight. Oh crap, I think he was in Dark Knight. I'll look it up. Oh no. He was actually, sorry. He was not in Dark Knight at all. He was in the CW series with the kids that they Gossip Girl. He was one of the actors on there, but he's really good. I'll remember his name in a minute. But
Yeah, he was one of those people on that show, but he was really good, implying that everyone else on that show was shit.
Yeah, pretty much. It was a terrible show. I will confess I watched a season of it of Gossip Girl, but on a
Good research.
White Gold is really good. Ed Westwick. That's his name. And yeah, it was BBC and it's been canceled. Okay, all right. Well, there you go.
There you go.
The kids and their bodyguards.
So Strike Force.
Yeah, so I'm sure there's a technical term for the type of game that it is, but basically, you are trying to collect Marvel heroes and villains and put together various teams in order to accomplish tasks so that you can win shit and get more heroes and villains.
It's kind
Oh
of
my
like
god, it's like Pokemon.
Yes, but without the geographic part of it. You
Oh,
don't
so
have
then
to
you-
like
so
it's
you
wander
without the
around.
walking. It's without the walking.
Which I'm totally fine with because when I was playing Walking Dead Our World, yeah, it was like, oh, that is too far away. You should take a walk to get closer. I'm like, take a walk? Who the fuck are you? But anyway,
I would
Obviously, the producers of The Walking Dead, which
what's that?
obviously the producers of The Walking Dead.
Or at least the producers of the game.
Just gonna take a walk in the woods. Yeah.
Hey, babe, take a walk on the wild side. And the zombies go. Oh, that's right.
Well, the zombies don't go anything. Well, it depends on which universe your zombies are in, and depending on what they do.
And while we're debating that, we're being eaten alive.
That's what your QI buzzers should do.
Which the new series of that has started, by the way.
Your universe zombie goes.
So basically, they have various modes that you go and play in. There's like an arena mode where you're playing other people's teams, and a blitz mode where you're also playing other people's teams. Campaign modes where you're advancing through a story. There's like event things where you can try to earn other characters.
It's kind of sort of like turn-based beat 'em up, sort of a thing. It has
I suppose.
It has that kind of like that old school Final Fantasy kind of you go and then they go and then you go and then they go sort of thing.
And I normally do not pay anything to play these games, and it's like a matter of pride that I don't play anything. But there's so much to do in this game. I actually felt guilty that there was so much to do, and I was doing it for free. So about every month, I just take $5 and I find a package I like and just buy it. And I don't feel guilt normally, so this is new for me.
Guilt is a useless emotion.
It's also a song by Nero, but who's counting?
I do want to go back. Ed Westwick apparently had been accused of sexual assault, so apparently I'm not supposed to like him anymore.
So yeah, don't like that.
Don't watch White Gold. Ignore my previous suggestion. Although apparently
I believe the editing note's going to be right about here.
the charges.
I believe that White Gold could mean something completely different.
Yes. Yes. So I just learned that just now. Anyway. But again, the charges were dropped a month ago, and they were levied.
Yeah, John. What did you know, and when did you know it?
I don't know. I was completely drunk.
I believe we're going to have to go to the video code for this.
Let's go to the videotape.
What's the time code?
And strike companions. So
that's a film with by what's his name, Mike Haggis. Sorry, that was really obscure.
Yeah,
but a great soundtrack.
Speaking of Marvel Strike Force,
yeah,
you have here on the non-agenda about the Loki Scarlet Witch TV series.
Oh, somebody must have added that. Yeah,
yeah.
So, yeah. Apparently, the Disney streaming service, which apparently we still don't know what it's going to cost, is
I'm gonna guess $7.99 or lower.
They're basically doing what I said they ought to do in Make the Bad Men Stop, which is limited series. Yep. And apparently they're not doing the DCEU stuff.
Fuck that,
and they're going to be using the movie cast in the shows, which I think is great.
Yeah, and your loophole is Agent Carter because it's no longer a television show, and she was in the movies.
Yeah, and so are you still thinking they're going to bring back Agent Carter?
Yeah. Because here's the thing. If the rule is, okay, well, we can't do anything because the TV side has stuff on the TV side we can't touch, well, then that's okay. Just do Agent Carter in the 60s.
Yeah, but the TV side of things, the Infinity War commentary, they mentioned that they had umpteen drafts of the script, including one where when Cap faces off against Thanos at the end, they were like, oh yeah, and we had a draft of the script in which this was Cap's first appearance in the film. So, but they said they had considered including the Netflix shows, the characters for the Netflix shows in the New York section, but they ultimately were like, well, we've already got 46 different characters already. So
and
if
they're going to be just standing around anyway.
Yeah, if they're going to like be taking tea in the background, and so if we don't include them, people are going to be pissed. But if we do include them, and they don't have anything really to do, people are going to be really pissed. So,
which all they need is a quick shot of Danny failing to use his powers.
Well, I mean that's called Iron Fist season 2. Although, without spoiling anything. Apparently,
I know where you're going with this.
Oh, apparently Iron Fist season 3 is going to be great. They took my advice on that too. They need to just fucking hire me.
I haven't watched it yet, but I heard that Iron Fist season 2 is actually considerably better than Iron Fist season 1, which of course is like saying, you know, algebra is better than pre-algebra, neither of which I like, but you know, here, enjoy.
Yeah, that's like saying, well, you know, Highlander 3 was a lot better than Highlander 2.
There is no Highlander 3 or Highlander 2. I don't know what you're talking about.
I know, if they existed, Toughly, is what I was saying.
My understanding is that they all exist in a cave somewhere.
They all exist in the Berenstein Bears universe, which we are no longer in.
I believe it's Berenstein.
Well, that's one of them.
One of them, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a multiverse, John.
Which I wish they'd, again, I just...
I mean, if you ask LP about this, he'll be happy to tell you.
Yes.
Very, very happy to tell you.
I was thinking I could just ask Sinbad.
What, because he was in that Genie movie?
The Genie movie, wasn't
he? Yeah.
No, no, he wasn't.
Yes, he was.
No, he wasn't. Not that one. The other one.
Not that one. The other one. Exactly. You know, in the universe,
that Mandela movies.
You know, in the other universe where we have Pulitzer Prizes given out just like candy.
That one podcast you were on.
That one podcast, yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, that episode that he hasn't posted yet.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
It's the one they don't want to let you know about.
Yeah.
What are they trying to
Oh,
hide?
you know what? You can always leave it for next year and use it to kick off. It's like, okay, it's like
Make it the Lost
It's the
episode.
the recap.
Found footage.
Well, it's like all new series shows. You know, they do that montage thing. So, John, you could like re-edit it so it's all like jumbly and stuff. And
You remember
like,
that
this is
time?
what you missed last year.
You remember that time we had Rocks on and it was really good?
Those are the only ones that we really ever watch.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So okay, it's fall. What's coming up?
Halloween!
Well, yes, but I mean, like,
mean
you know,
TV.
That's all that matters. I have answered your question. No more questions.
well, Doctor Who, but you know.
Oh, so Rob wanted to talk about Doctor Who.
he's muted now. He's been
Well, I
waiting.
will say this. Okay, I'm gonna go out on a limb here
Go on,
and
Lem.
say the trailers look like ass.
Sorry.
There's Rob.
Sorry.
The
Talking
trailers look
doctor.
terrible, mostly because of the music.
I haven't seen any. Well, there's an Australian one that doesn't have the pop music in it, which is
Oh, thank
somewhat
fuck.
better.
Maybe I
Yeah.
should watch that.
Isn't it? Isn't that the one that's got the actual? Is it score music from the series?
It's believed to be. Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
not worried about the score if it's an actual score.
Yeah.
If it's true and that Sia has composed an opening song like Star Trek Voyager or Enterprise type of thing, then I'm worried.
But see, here's what's crazy: is I normally like Sia's stuff, but if that's her song in the trailer, that is ass.
I don't think that's her. I think Glorious is
Yeah.
Fox's, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So
Okay, well,
that's
that makes me feel better.
and Fox's. Although there is a connection because Fox's was on a Doctor Who episode a couple of years ago. So
Yeah. But I didn't know that was Fox's. Yeah.
yeah, I think that was Fox's.
Okay.
So,
Uh,
Tuffy, did it look like a Firefly trailer to you?
Not really.
Oh, okay.
I mean, my experience with Firefly is basically Serenity because I never watched the TV show.
Okay. Let's just
Because
yeah,
everybody
mine too.
basically said, "Oh, you really need to watch this TV show," and I said, "Really? Is it? Oh no, it's Jaws." And I was like, "No, I'm not going to watch it."
it's
No.
completely different than flyers they've done since the whole reboot, including Eccleston. And it's
I
interesting.
saw the first one. I didn't mind the first one.
Yeah, I didn't mind the first one. And I like this one a little
the
more.
one where she's basically saying, "Well, you guys just be my new friends."
Yeah. Well, the Magic Pizza was kind of weird.
I didn't watch that one either.
Okay.
So
You know, I mean, there's a certain sense of every time it's Doctor Who, you have to be like, okay, it's the first episode. You got to give it 2 or 3. I think I'm gonna love her, but I'm
Yeah.
worried about the companions, and I'm worried about like, are they in such a rush to change and make everything cool again that they're gonna change too much at once?
Hmm.
You know. I know they said they weren't bringing back the Cybermen, the Daleks, the Weeping Angels, or the Podnoster Gang or River Song, and I'm fine with that. I kind of expect that. The first season of Tom Baker didn't have any aliens anybody recognized either. If we lose that in favor of like really good, well-written science fiction
let's have the
stories,
Daleks at the end.
I'm cool with that. But I'm
Well,
just,
he got Genesis, which
Yeah.
is, I think, one of the best episodes ever.
yeah.
But
Well, I think I don't know the other two, but I know Bradley Walsh, and he's great.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
if he's got good material, he's going to be great.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm not worried about
it.
him.
It also helps that Chibnall's worked with Whitaker and Bradley Walsh previously, so that's kind of where I'm hoping that kind of works.
Yeah.
Particularly since the showrunner actor thing has kind of worked well in the past. So,
But yeah, I just, it's interesting. They moved the time for it to a Sunday. And
I think part of that is, to honestly, because obviously football is on Saturday
Yeah.
in the UK, and also the talent shows. So if you get it away from the talent shows where it doesn't have to compete with talent shows in football,
Yeah.
I think they're trying to sort of get back to that being the most important thing on, which, okay. I think the thing I think the most interesting thing it's going to do here is I think because AMC owns BBC America now, is that it kind of cannibalizes AMC's Sunday night.
Oh,
because they're not putting it directly against Walking Dead, but they're putting it Walking Dead adjacent, which I don't know I guess alternate programming.
Maybe. I mean, you're gonna have. Well, here's the thing: you're gonna have your Walking Dead people, and then you're gonna have. I mean, I don't know on how many crossover.
Well, I mean, because and that's a point too. I mean, there's got to be a middle ground between like football, Walking Dead, and like the HBO stuff,
right?
Yeah,
because that's what you're looking at on Sunday night. That's what gets the viewers on Sunday night. So,
yeah, but right now for Sunday night on HBO is what, The Deuce.
The Deuce is on. Actually, The Deuce is late night, so it's.
Yeah, but I mean,
I think it's what is it? Oh, it's camping. It's the David Tennant show.
It
starts in like 2 weeks.
That looks terrible.
I haven't seen any of it, so I was kind of curious about that.
The trailer is just like
okay.
I'm not buying it.
But yeah, so it's usually like Walking Dead, HBO. So I guess Doctor Who could fit in as safer, more family-esque programming than.
So would they put it on at 8?
I'm imagining that's where it's going. I know.
Simulcast with the UK broadcast.
I think that's only for the premiere, though.
No, I think it's every week.
Is it every week? Because
because they are trying to cut down on people watching it online in the afternoon and in England, and then it comes on here in the evening.
Right.
Okay. Because I'd read something that was only for the premiere episode. They weren't going to do that every week.
Well, maybe it is.
And the only reason they're doing it for the premiere is so that at least all the spoilers get kept, at least for a week.
Yeah.
Because usually they don't care about spoilers after the premiere and the finale, except for the premiere and the finale. Because usually the BBC doesn't really care about spoilers except for premieres and finales. Otherwise, it's fine. But I know they've been really, really, really trying to keep a lid on the premiere, except for the footage that got out.
Yeah.
But even that was bottled pretty quickly, and you can't really find it anywhere now if you try to look for it.
I think it's going to be interesting to see how it goes over here too. I think that its timing is kind of interesting with it.
I think it's I don't know. I think it's a good timing, and I think it'll be okay. I think the backlash. I think whatever backlash you're seeing online is people who don't watch the show anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was on a panel first thing Friday where this came up, and I'm like, yeah, but the people who are making these comments don't watch the show.
Right. Well, here's the thing. Here's a question. So how, there has Doctor Who peaked globally?
Not yet, because it's just now hitting the Asian market.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
So yeah, I mean, that's the kind of weird thing is it's finally hitting Asia.
Okay. All right. Just checking. Because I mean, you knew when Elizabeth Sladen passed away, and they actually mentioned it on the Today Show. You're like, Doctor Who is now noticed. It's sad, but I was just wondering on what the numbers are and if it's like peaked and then now like on its waning kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And meaning back to like the hardcore fans. that have always
it's got a
been.
ways to go before it goes back to that point.
Okay.
Because I know the highest numbers. Now, to be fair, the highest numbers were during Matt Smith
Yeah.
so far.
Mm-hmm.
The highest viewership numbers overall were during Matt Smith. But again, you're talking. This is in an era of basically, you know, the progression of young hot doctors and companions.
Mm-hmm.
Because let's face it, Karen had a following too. So
Yeah.
and so the numbers went down a little bit when they went older with Capaldi. Not as much as they were afraid of, apparently, but
it was in a really crappy time spot too.
Yeah. And that was the thing. It kept getting preempted by football, and then it was on against the X Factor. And then at one point it was against Ant and Dec, and for some reason people seem to like those. But yeah, it was against, you know, it was against talent shows. I think at one point it was against The Voice. And so it's against the talent shows in the UK. It's been against football in the UK. You know, even going back to like the old series, what killed the old series was the rise of the British soap opera.
Yeah,
right?
I think so.
Right? Because at first they'd put up like in the 70s, they'd put up like the Tomorrow People against Doctor Who. That's why the Tomorrow People happened. But then later on, you'd get like, Coronation Street and stuff came up in their weekly runs because they were trying to knock Doctor Who off.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, if you can move Doctor Who away from the football and you can move Doctor Who away from the talent shows, I think in the UK they get better viewers, which is really, you know, the BBC cares about global sales, but they still need the viewers in the home country. So,
I think at this point it's doing so well abroad that they can not worry about it, you know? I think they're fine.
Yeah. Although, again, they look at stuff like Bodyguard's numbers and go, wow, so we can still get that many people to watch television. Okay.
Yeah.
Because, like, did you see what numbers that was doing?
Yeah, that was crazy.
That was nuts. So The Bodyguard is a miniseries that's going to be on Netflix pretty soon for the rest of us.
Yeah.
But it was Richard Madden from Game of Thrones and Keely Hawes. And it's kind of a, I don't know if it's kind of a spy sort of terrorism kind of thing, but that seems what it's the best description of it. But it was an event miniseries that they did. And it was drawing like unheard of numbers for television now over there.
Yeah.
So,
I think they think it's going to be huge over here too.
Yeah. And I think they've already given it a second season.
That wouldn't surprise me.
So apparently that's going to get a second series with a character continuing. Supposedly. But no, they look at numbers from The Bodyguard and they have to go, well, maybe we can still get enough people to watch television. So I think, to go back to the original thing, I think that's why you have all the pop music in the trailers.
Yeah.
To get more people to look at it. But also there are, in other territories, have done versions of this trailer without the pop music in it. So
Pop music.
No, but I think she's going to be really good.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to her because Jodie Whittaker's fantastic. So that I'm looking forward to.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to sort of see how it goes. But I don't think it's interesting how one little trailer has like freaked out so many people. It's been kind of interesting. So.
I've been kind of that. I haven't paid that much attention to. I think there was one thing where people complained about a trailer, that wasn't really a trailer, and I'm like, yeah, but they said that you weren't going to get a trailer today, and you didn't. So shut up. So
exactly.
And, you know, trailers, I don't know. And we just got a topic on here about trailers, but trailers, there are a lot of pretty bad trailers for even good things. So
yeah.
trailers don't really tell you much. Sometimes trailers don't tell you much.
The
So-
best trailers don't.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping that with this, they just don't tell us much of anything, you know, but it'll be, I'm kind of amazed too at just how much complete secrecy there is around this thing, more so than there has been the other series.
Yeah, I think so. And I think part of it has had a lot to do with the fact that it's been so long since an episode showed up.
Yeah.
I think previously, with Capaldi and even with Matt Smith, particularly when the Matt Smith run up, there was still a year of Tenet that was coming out concurrently with Matt Smith, right?
Yeah.
So you had the Matt Smith series that came right off the tail end of David Tennant. Here you've had a bit of a gap.
Yeah.
Where there hasn't been one before. So, and also because they haven't been using past elements of the show, that may also have something to do with it, because of the level of like approvals you have to get to use any of the old monsters.
Yeah.
So for the approvals you have to get to use the old monsters, because you have to go through everybody's estates. Like by the time that's how some of the leaks happen. Right. So because you get approvals from the estates, oh, well, they're going to be in this series and this monster is going to be in this series because the dude approved it and something like that. So I think part of it has to do with the fact that you don't have that, that they aren't getting permission to use any of the old monsters. Therefore, you're not hearing any leaks because you're not hearing blank's going to be in this series either way.
Yeah. It also completely breaks from the Moffat era.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah. And, you know, I kind of broke it down like this. I mean, you know, Moffat liked his puzzles, probably at his worst points to the exclusion of the characters. Russell T. Davies liked his characters.
Yeah.
And really, really liked his characters to the point where the plot really didn't matter, as long as you had really good character bits. So I'm kind of hoping that at least in his procedural stuff, Chibnall has kind of proven that he can do kind of twisty stuff and character stuff really well. There is only one episode of his Doctor Who that I've ever liked, so that's worrying. But otherwise, his stuff he's done elsewhere is really good. So I'm kind of hoping there's more of a procedural kind of bent to it.
Yeah.
Maybe, which kind of feels right for, I guess, this interpretation, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be more of a procedural than science fiction, which I think is going to freak some people out.
Which, and something I mentioned on the panel, which is fine because that's what the show's been. I mean, there's if you like, you know, if you like the Avengers, you like the Pertwee Doctor. You know, if you like Action Man, there you go. If you liked more cerebral stuff, then, you know, a portion of the Tom Baker era probably worked for you. And if you liked funnier stuff, the second half of the Tom Baker era worked for you. So it's what kind of show, if you like this kind of show, occasionally they will get around to making a version of Doctor Who you like. So
unless you're, what's his face? Ian Levine.
Well, then you're just collecting the tapes.
Yeah.
I'm just going to wait for those checks to come in. Nobody's got that footage. Nope.
Well, also, yeah. I mean, I think I'm most excited about the score. I think it's going to be nice to have a whole new composer in. And I think it's going to be real cool to hear just sort of a whole different take on it. I mean, I liked Murray Gold, but having been through 10 seasons of that, you kind of know what the music's going to sound like for every episode. And now it might be completely different, which could be cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see. It's
3 weeks. No, 2 weeks.
Yeah. Oh well, that's why I'm in Chicago. I'll have to stay off the internet.
Which I'm still trying to desperately make, but we'll see.
Okay.
Are you guys going up there for a particular reason, or are you just going to go?
Well, Kim's birthday is on that time area.
Okay.
And so that's where she wanted to go. So
no, good for her.
So we're doing so we're doing Chicago, and then on her actual birthday, we're back in town and Churches is playing.
Nice.
So we're going to see Churches, which turns out it's the same night that the Public Image thing is. So I'm going to Churches. Huh?
I go see Churches.
Yeah, I'm going to go see Churches instead of Public Image because the Public Image thing got booked late and we already had tickets to Churches.
Yeah.
But I am going to go see the documentary when it plays here because it's playing here separately than the tour, which is kind of weird. But
well, they did that with the in Chicago. They had the documentary one night, and then the next night was the concert.
Actually, we're not getting the Public Images Rotten the actual showing until the 29th.
Oh wow!
So it's like 3 weeks after they've actually been through, which is a bit strange, but
that is very weird.
Well, I need to scoot.
Okay, Rox, have you got any recommendations before you go?
I do, since I made these further reading lists for my Dragon Con panels. This coming from the Science of Sherlock Holmes. I'm going to go with one that most of the panelists didn't read, which is Arthur Conan Doyle, A Life in Letters. So it's compiled and edited by John Lellenberg and Charles Foley and Daniel Stashauer. So Conan Doyle wrote for 54 years to his mom on a regular basis, and most of the letters are compiled into this book. And it does show the progression early on, even in his medical school years, that he was interested in writing. It's an item that comes up time and time again with people who are interested in the writing process of, what makes, say, like John Grisham. He was an attorney and turned to writing, these crime books, the Pelican Brief and stuff that has sort of a lawyerly slant. And Doyle was no different. Early on, a couple letters to his mom, he mentions about writing, and he wrote to, like, I guess their version of JAMA, which is the Journal of the Journal Lancet or something like that. He took every day a certain amount of poison just to see what the effects were. And even while in medical school, he was able to write up this paper and send it to, I think, Lancet or something. And he was interning at the time with the one doctor, and his wife's like, I'm going to tell your mom. But it's funny that there was such a candid writing between Doyle and his mom. It's really interesting. So that one is a really good one. And since what we were talking about was Sherlock Holmes and the science behind it during the time that Doyle was writing, The Science of Sherlock Holmes, From Baskerville Hall to the Valley of Fear, the real forensics behind the great detectives' greatest cases. And that is by E.J. Wagner. And then there's another one, The Scientific Sherlock Holmes, Cracking the Case with Science and Forensics. So those are ones that I read and stuff for it. So there you go. 3 books to Sherlock Holmes.
Ding.
Ding. All right. Welcome back.
Oh, hey.
Yes.
Thanks, Rox.
Yep. See you.
Bye. Okay, who's next?
You can go.
All right, Tuffley, go.
I've got 2 video games, a concert tour, and an album. First off, if you have a PlayStation 4 and you haven't started playing Spider-Man yet, you should. It's really fun. It's a complete time suck, and it's probably like, and which just they've taken like they've cherry picked the bits of Spidey continuity, like including the Ultimate stuff that works into like one imaginary thing, and it's kind of seamless and works, which is fun because it's fun to play through and like pick out all the comic references. I know where this is from, and I know where. Oh yeah, I know where this is from, and I know what's going to happen here, and it's kind of cherry picking bits and pieces from the continuity, but from different continuities and making it work. It's fun. But besides the story beats, the biggest part of it is just swinging around New York as Spider-Man.
Okay.
And the stupid picture mode is awesome.
I've seen a lot of those.
Yes, it's a thing. But you can basically swing around New York, a large sandboxy version of New York, and the web slinging is like dead on. It's really great. And it's just beautiful. It's pretty. I don't have a PS4 Pro. Kim does, but it looks virtually the same on mine as it does on hers. And it looks great. And it's pretty fluid. It plays pretty well. If you've played Arkham Asylum, the combat is kind of similar, but not entirely. I know a lot of people are saying in reviews that the combat system is the same, but it is. If you've played Arkham Asylum, the Batman Arkham Asylum games, it's close. However, the combat's a bit quicker because Spidey's a bit quicker, and also you can't take a lot of hits as Spidey, which makes sense. So it's kind of Dark Soulsy in that you have to duck every once in a while instead of taking hits, but it's a very fun game. And so if you're even the least bit into Spider-Man or not even at all, it's just a really good game, and you should check it out if you have a PlayStation. Second game I'm going to bring up because I played the demo and it's out like next week is Forza Horizon 4, obviously. This time it's in Britain. So you get to play England, and it's still a pretty big game, amazingly. The big deal about this incarnation of Forza Horizon is of dicking around with cars is that it's seasonal. So the game map changes seasons like supposedly every week, which opens up different things on the map. So like lakes will freeze up and you can drive through the lakes or race past the lakes. Nice. Or whatever, and then certain other areas open up seasonally, so that's pretty cool. So that's going to be out next week. I'm really interested in checking out the multiplayer stuff, which wasn't in the demo because nothing's online yet. But previously in the previous games, they would make kind of like an AI based on how your friends drove, and they've gotten rid of those, so everything's supposed to be in real time now if you play online. Although you can still play in the solo mode, which is also great. So I'm interested to see how that works. But otherwise, it looks what I've played looks really good so far. As far as if you get a chance, I'm going to get to see this week. But if you get a chance and you can still get tickets because some places sold out, some places didn't because box office sales. But if you get a chance to see Nine Inch Nails on this tour, try to. Jesus and Mary Chain are opening. And they're also pulling out stuff that they have not played on tours in a while. I know
Wish.
I know a couple of weeks ago they played Wish and at one show and Broken in its entirety in another show. And I know they've been pulling out stuff Trent's been pulling out stuff from the catalog they've never done live before. So just randomly. So if you get a chance to see the Cold and Infinite tour, go check it out. I'm gonna go see it. They're playing 2 nights here. I'm gonna go see the second show. Mm-hmm. So hopefully they will, whatever random thing they spring will be separate from the one from Wednesday, because they've been known to do that. So it's pretty cool. And also, I didn't know this, but Atticus Ross is touring with them, and he doesn't typically do that. So before they get locked away scoring the Watchmen series, it'll be a while before the next Nine Inch Nails thing happens. So if you can see this tour, check that out. And also Jesus and Mary Chain. So
Yeah.
And then the record that's coming out, I don't know when we're doing the next one, but there's a record coming out at the end of the month. Robin is finally releasing another album. It's called Honey. And it's the new Robin album. The Missing You track that she threw out last month, that's going to be on there. And the track from Girls is going to be on there. And a couple of other new things. What I've heard so far sounds really great. So if you're into Robin, the album's called Honey, and it'll be out October 29th. So check that out.
Nice.
And that's going to be it for me.
Cool. Thanks, Dudley. All right, Rob, what you got?
Okay, so having not been walked over by Tuffley, I will start with the new record from Spiritualized called And Nothing Hurt. It sounds much more like Ladies and Gentlemen, We Were Floating in Space than some of his other recent records, but it's really, really got a feel and a heart to it, which is really good. Also,
theoretically, he's saying it's the last Spiritualized album.
That's what he's saying, but who knows? You know, he's been saying that for a while. I mean, it feels there's a sense of finality to it, but I don't know. Then also Interpol, sorry, their new album Marauder, which is probably the best record they've done in a couple of years, and they're touring as well. But it's really good. It's grimy and it's dark, and it doesn't pull any punches, which is nice. And then I'm gonna pick a band from Australia called the Goon Sax, and it's called We're Not Talking, and it's kind of weird. It's a little bit Talking Heads. It's a little bit, Future Heads. It's a little bit Arctic Monkeys. It's a lot of different things, but it's really, really interesting. So I do want to recommend that as well. And then it's making the rounds at film festivals, and I think it's coming to Netflix next month. But I do want to recommend the Orson Welles film, The Other Side of the Wind, which is this film he labored on and labored on and labored on, but it's been finished and edited, and it's out making festivals. So if you are jonesing for some Orson Welles that you haven't seen before, and you kind of wanted to see a movie made that he wanted to make his way, get released the way he wanted to be released in his way, although he probably, would think Netflix is weird. But in terms of, how it's out there into the world, it's pretty interesting. So I do want to recommend that. Look for that on Netflix. And also there's a book out right now called Los Angeles in the 1970s, Weird Scenes Inside the Gold Mine. Now, it's not just about Hollywood, but there's all kinds of just crazy, bonkers stuff in this book about stuff that happened in LA in the 1970s. And it's insane. So I do want to recommend that as well. And one last thing, if you go to Spotify online, you might find music from The Frame, which is Widge's musical project, and you should listen to that.
Well, thank you, Rob.
Yeah. I didn't know if you mention that or wanted to mention it to other people. So.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Yeah, the band is The Frame. The album's called Still We Play On.
And the frightening thing is there's a Christian band called The Frame too. That's not yours.
Yeah, no. They're imposters.
That scared me.
No. Oh, no. No, yeah, if you the songs on there that are mine that I sing, I think it should say which ones are my lyrics. Yeah, definitely not. Definitely not. It's not
no psalms.
It's not Eric Carmen. Let's put it that way.
You've made sure that Stryper covers album is damn well buried.
You got it. All right, John, what you got?
All right. The first thing I'm gonna recommend is the new Netflix limited series, which is Maniac, starring.
Yeah, you're like the third person that's told me about this.
So you've seen it?
No, but I've heard it's really good.
But John, have you seen it?
I've seen the first 3 episodes, and it is really good. I don't know where it's going, but the first 3 episodes are worth your time just for the performances and the intrigue and the way that it's just shot, and it's sort of out of timeness. It's my wife goes, "Is this supposed to be the 80s or now?" Or I said, "I don't think it's supposed to be anywhere." It's really a screwed up and interesting series. So yeah, I highly recommend that. Not knowing how it's going to end up, but knowing what I've seen so far is just really good art. The other thing I'll recommend is Solo, which comes out in Blu-ray tomorrow, something like that. But rewatch the thing, man.
It's fun.
Yeah, I saw it.
Glover is fucking killer in that.
Say that again.
Donald Glover is fucking killer in that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and I rewatched it. And I saw it in the theater, and I was like, okay, well, it's good, it's fine. But on the rewatch, when you kind of gotten over the shock of it not being Harrison Ford, you're right. It's really fun. It's a really good movie that the only thing it suffers from is being called Solo.
Yeah.
Other than that, but even that though, it's a good origin tale. It's nice. It's
actually everybody's really good in that, because I'm thinking Tandy Newton's in that too.
Yeah.
And she's amazing in this. For what
Amelia Clark's great.
Yeah.
It's just a really, really fun and really good film. And I think it got I think and I think it was a Bob Iger. Is that who's in charge of Disney now? Who's in charge of Disney now? He came out this week and said, or last week, and said, yeah, maybe we are inundating people too much with Star Wars. Maybe we should cut it back a little bit. And that's probably really what it is, fatigue, right? At least with Marvel's thing, it's various different characters from various different I don't know.
Well, the continuing narrative helps too.
Right. And yeah, exactly. So it's not the same thing as Star Wars, where it's literally just sort of always been this one little set of people that we're kind of going round and round with. It's got a much bigger universe with the Marvel, so I don't think it suffers the same that with Marvel that it does with Star Wars. But yeah, I think Solo just kind of got a bad rap in the theater because of it just being overplayed at that point. So.
Well, I think part of the problem too, I mentioned this in one of the Make the Bad Man Stops, is people were like, well, no one was asking for this. And I'm like, well, that's just doing stuff that audiences ask for doesn't really get you anywhere. And the example that was right there was A Quiet Place.
Yeah.
It's like, so yeah, I want to almost completely silent film horror movie starring Jim from The Office. Yeah, who would be like, oh yeah, give me some of that?
Yeah.
But I think part of it is that it was not marketed to overcome the kind of reaction to it that people got from just the concept of it.
Mm-hmm.
I think had it come out after episode 9?
Yeah.
If it had come out after the current timeline, oh, it's a flashback. I think people who try to follow the timelines got a little confused by that. Well, I don't want to watch this now because it's not in the right timeline, I guess. Because I'd actually genuinely heard that complaint.
Really?
I don't know who that person is, but
which is, I don't want to watch this. I don't want to watch this now because it doesn't fit in the current timeline of the stuff I'm watching.
Yeah, wow. Don't ever watch a Christopher Nolan film.
Well, no, that's exactly. But also, if the last thing you can compare it to Star Wars wise, because it used to be, every 2 years you'd have a Star Wars film, maybe every 10 years when it was actually happening.
Yeah, it was. I think it was every 2 years when between the original 3, right?
Yeah, so you'd have, you wouldn't have something to compare it to that came out 6 months earlier. Which is what you were saying, John.
Yeah. It's just fatigue.
Yeah, and again with like the Marvel things, I think the continuing narrative helps, that it all fits in the same timeline, and you can shove it in and it works.
Well, timeline may be debatable at this point with Thanos, but go on.
But yeah. But to do like the current stuff, to go from Last Jedi to like, oh, it's a flashback before all of this even happened, and
that's possible.
The converging timelines, because the same thing happened with Rogue One, where it was, well, Rogue One kind of related to the film that had just come out, but
of course we're about to see Miss Marvel though, right? So, or Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel. That'll be interesting to find out how that works and how they tie it into the narrative. Because if they can tie it into the current narrative, people aren't going to have the timeline complaint. But
I'm like, basically,
but if it's good, it's good. I mean, it shouldn't matter.
Good, but
less characters to pull for Star Wars than there are for Marvel.
Yeah.
Obviously, Marvel has stories upon stories that have yet to be told, right? So. And most of them, Widge has made Widge turn off reading comics altogether. So those stories, Widge really looks forward to.
Well, hey,
it's a better Marvel universe than the one Widge stopped reading.
Absolutely. At this point, I'm like, the Russo brothers made Civil War good, so I just about want to hand them anything they want. Just see what you can make it out of this.
Yeah,
you know how they made it good? Shortened it to 2 hours.
Well, not only that, but they set it in a universe where the story would actually make sense.
Well, also, and Tony wasn't as much of a jerk as he was in the comics.
Well, they made
it a reasonable argument.
They made everyone's argument reasonable.
Yes,
and they set it in a universe where, but a terrorist basically not blowing up at street level, but blowing up an embassy in a building is still a big deal. Whereas,
although if we're being honest, not having the mutants in it uncomplicated the shit out of it.
That's true, but the
good
problem
luck on Phase 4.
You had a mutant in it, but
the problem in the comics is that you've had, New York has been flooded and invaded by Atlanteans. The Baxter Building's been shot into space by Doctor Doom at least 4 times. There's been Skrull invade. The Marvel Universe in the comics has had its ass handed to it multiple times. So the idea that a school bus full of kids blowing up is going to cause civil war is laughable to the extreme. Whereas, as Ross pointed out in Civil War, he was able to, in about a minute, summarize why everyone in the MCU was panicked, because no one's dealt with this shit before.
Yeah.
They don't know what to do. So, yeah, I can believe that the nations of the world would come together and go, fuck this nonsense. So yeah, and then you have the whole thing of that complicates the whole Bucky thing, and it all makes sense.
Yeah, the simplified version of the story, I think, really helped. But yeah, not having the mutants involved as a plot point was probably a good idea too. Not being able to use those,
even though technically you did use one.
Well, they
have actually retconned. They have actually thrown a retcon out there into like the website bios on Wanda that people are going, well, maybe they're letting mutants back in. So.
Well, I think really, wouldn't she be, unless they're going to say that the mutant gene was activated by the stone inside the cell?
They're saying that's what they're going with.
I mean, I would accept that, because otherwise, without mutants, she is a mutate. She's not a mutant.
Yeah, Although I still like my idea of like when whatever happens, like if she throws a fit and then the mutants show up, or if she resurrects Quicksilver, that it turns out to be Peterson.
Or winds up
The
being,
Quicksilver she resurrects is the one from the other universe.
or she resurrects Quicksilver and it winds up being Peter from the X Factor.
Or it's
X-Force, not X Factor.
it's Kevin Bacon's character from the movie of the same name. Sorry.
Actually, Peter lived, didn't he? I'm sorry. Peter lived in Deadpool 2, didn't he?
Yeah. Peter's the only one, spoiler. Other than Domino. I don't know if Domino counts, but
yeah.
Well, I mean, her power isn't that cinematic, so.
nah.
Yeah.
They got a lot out of that joke, though, I gotta admit.
Oh, it's great. Loved it. So where were we, Joe?
Oh yeah, so yeah, Maniac and Solo. See Solo again. That's how we got down this path.
This rabbit hole. The Solo rabbit hole.
I'll watch Deadpool 2 as well while you're at it.
Why not? Certainly.
Right, that was it. I'm done.
Oh, all right, thanks, John.
Oh yeah, if you want to get any of those things, especially like the Solo DVD or the Deadpool DVD, sure, get DVD now.
Or
by the way, or a VHS if you want, I suppose.
I hear they're putting them out on cassette.
Yes. You can head over to needcoffee.com/Amazon/ cassettes are still a thing, right?
Yeah, microfiche.
.com.
I would absolutely love it if someone actually did a film on microfiche.
Yeah, we're gonna release Infinity War on microfiche.
That'd be amazing. And it would be a stack of microfiche, probably 25 feet tall.
They should put out Captain Marvel only in VHS when they release it.
No laser disc.
Sell
it in a Laserdisc package, but put the DVD.
No, even better. The in the MCU Betamax one.
Oh, okay.
So you sell it in a Betamax case, but it's a DVD
or Blu-ray.
Or Blu-ray. 4K Blu-ray, whatever, something. I don't know.
It's actually
Are we still doing 3D, by the way? Have we decided that that's no longer a thing?
I don't go see 3D movies anymore.
Well, I mean, I don't even know that they're. Did they make Infinity War with in 3D?
I don't think so.
So I think it might be dead. It might be a dead thing.
Well, now
I mean, they do IMAX. They do IMAX releases.
But see, here's the thing.
But they're doing processed IMAX. They're not shooting in IMAX.
In Asia, 3D is apparently huge.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Did they do? Let's see.
The last thing that I know was intentionally shot in 3D was the Pacific Rim 2.
Here you go.
That I know of.
Region 2. There is at least a region. Oh, this is a region 0. It is a region 0 from Europe. Blu-ray 3D of Avengers: Infinity War.
Okay.
So I would think probably it got a very limited release stateside, but was more available like overseas. So
All right.
But anyway. But yeah, for the most part, I mean, honestly, a lot of the films just have not been worth it. I think the first Captain America film I thought was really good in 3D. And there was like one other one, which I thought was really good.
Didn't you say Avengers at the time was probably worth the 3D?
Possibly. Now, Fury Road was worth the 3D.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was worth it.
Because I remember the way Homer where you said Avengers was worth it in the 3D.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been so long ago. I was so young and foolish.
The way Homer still come up in my search results every time I'm on YouTube. So just so you know.
Oh, that's good. Yay, new meds. So, no, sorry, old meds. The new meds were shit. So John is correct. If you go to needcoffee.com/Amazon, you can look for whatever Blu-ray, 3D, 2D, 4K, I don't know, 5H, whatever the fuck it is. Look for the thing of your choice. And when you buy it like that, we get kickbacks, for which we greatly appreciate your patronage. Now,
something with decent tracking.
Something. Yeah, make sure you can adjust the tracking.
Yeah.
So real quick, my recommendations, all stuff that's coming up. Olive Films. I don't know where these people came from, but they appear to put out good, quote unquote, limited edition. And I say quote unquote because I don't know what is limited. Could be 5 million copies. I don't know. Previously they had done Operation Petticoat and Father Goose, but apparently next month, just in time for Halloween, they're coming out with an Invasion of the Body Snatchers, the original from the 1950s, which looks like it's got some happening stuff on it. In addition, Shout Factory is putting out again next month a collector's edition of Creepshow, which is going to have, according to the Shout Factory website, I double checked, a bunch of new shit, including new audio commentaries, new featurettes. Looks like it's going to be good.
The Shout Factory stuff they don't play.
The
Shout Factory stuff is really good.
Yeah, when they decide they're going to really go for it, they actually go for it.
Like, I always rave about their WKRP set. That's really good. And they managed to get most of the music rights. I mean, the holdouts are who you think they are, but yeah, Shout Factory, when Shout Factory goes after the rights for something, they usually pay a lot for them.
I like completists.
Yeah.
And lastly, coming out at the end of next month is the Criterion Collection of The Princess Bride, which I'm pretty sure is probably, I hope it's going to have the audio commentary from the Laserdisc Criterion, which is a really, really great commentary.
I know there's some restoration on the film.
Right, it's a 4K digital transfer. That's new. And they have new interviews. They have a new featurette about the screenplay. And I think it was, I think it was Rob Reiner who did the commentary, I think. It's been so long since I've listened to it. But I just remember he was talking about the fact that in the script, before the huge sword fight between Carrie Elwes and Mandy Patinkin, he said all it said in the script is, what is about to happen is the second best sword fight ever filmed. And the first best sword fight ever filmed hasn't been filmed yet. And so that's it. That's all that was in the script. So they were like, what the fuck do we do here? But anyway, so I'm hoping all the stuff from the Laserdisc will be on there and then some. And I'm glad to see that they are eventually putting, like with Silence of the Lambs, they're putting the stuff back out there into the world that has been out of print. So that shit is important. So those are my recommendations. All stuff that you can pre-order now. And that brings us to the end of another episode of Weekend Justice. And as we, the few, the survivors, and we even lost Rob, so we're down to 3. And then there were 3.
Rush. Guys, we're Rush. Yay.
No? I love Dust and Shine.
There are less of us than a number of men who are alive at the back of the moon.
Wait, so you're saying 2 of us have been in Journey? What?
Hey, someday love will find you.
Oh, great. That means I was the keyboardist on the wall. Thanks a lot, Wedge.
Will it break the chains that bind me?
I guess if you're into that kind of thing.
Will it place the chains to bind me?
Yeah. Then you touched and went your separate ways. Except for you, because you were chained to something.
Well, somebody else would have to, assist.
Right. Absolutely. So what was that? Oh, yes. So
You were saying goodbye. You
yes,
never did introductions, but whatever.
Oh, I'm that's Mo.
This was
That's
Weekend
Larry.
Justice. That was Wedge. And it's over.
That was Mo and Larry, and I'm Shemp. Actually, I'm more like Curly Joe. But anyway, so the three survivors, as we sit here in the smoking ruins that was a Tuesday evening that we're recording this on, I think the only thing left for us to do is to stare off into the middle distance and mutter to ourselves 8 tracks.
8 tracks.
8 tracks.
8 tracks.
As opposed to night tracks, which is what I used to record off of TBS with a 6-hour VHS tape because we didn't have MTV back in the day. Kids, ask your parents.
Well, what would be funny if, you did 8 tracks, but then you faded off and then came back in the middle of somebody saying 8 tracks.
Oh, sweet Jeebus.
As
like
8
it.
tracks would do.
Yes.
8 tracks.
So good. We should run away.
Yes,
Yes,
running
please.
away is good.
All right, run away. Bye.
Yes.
I have to go play Spider-Man now.
I have to go. I don't know what I got to do, but I got to do something.
All right.
Okay, kids.
Go kick off a raid or something, Widge.
Oh, you're right. I actually need to do that. Thank you, John.
Yes. Bye.
All right. Bye, guys. Thanks.